already on June 1st, the Royals are in a spot that has them 15 games under 500. That's where we're going to start today. We know the video stream is up and running. You guys can watch the show on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. You can also text in on the Jay Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965. Let's start with the Royals. And I think a question that none of us ever expected to ask during the 2026 season, a season in which the Royals were expected, both internally from them and certainly from fans and from us in the media.
National media,
everybody,
not just us,
to compete for an American League Central title. The question I'm going to ask is 100 losses truly in play? And you would have called me crazy if I would have asked that. You would have been like, come on. In February or March, you would have said, come on. What are we doing? And I would have said that May 1st.
A month ago, yeah.
Even if as bad as it was in April.
They're going to lose 100.
No. In fact, I think we even had that quick comment, which was like, okay, look, they may not be good, but like they're not going to be a 100-loss team. I'm not so sure anymore. I'm not so sure, Cody, when they are 15 games under 500, kind of stuck where it looks like no change or solution is in sight, whether it's the comments from J.J. Piccolo to us or to Andy Rogers over the weekend, where basically admitting, like, until it's clear that in his mind, the team is no longer playing for their manager or needs a spark or whatever, although I would argue they do need a spark, that there's no change really on the horizon for this team. And it gets uglier every single weekend, doesn't it? Like, I feel like every weekend something gets even worse, not just because they're losing, but it's the losing, how they're losing, now coupled with Michael Garcia is hurt, and we don't know if he's going to need an IL stint with a hamstring injury.
They have now lost 6 games in a row again, 16 of 19. Over the weekend, they had a game in which they finally got some offense, shook up the lineup. Old Carter Jensen was hitting leadoff, right, because of Garcia and others. Oh, wow, look, we're changing it up. Scored some runs, blew it. Ursack was awful again. Had another terrible save opportunity. And here's one thing I do not understand is when it's clear Ursack doesn't have it, is there some law or rule in baseball that prevents him from being pulled from the damn game? He didn't have it again. It was obvious he didn't have it again. Every time he looks like this, they lose it. So maybe, just maybe, warm somebody else up, have the longest mound meeting imaginable, and get somebody else on the mound who might hypothetically, even in some possible circumstance, get it out. And so, 100 losses is in play. And I'll tell you right now, if they lose 100 losses, I'll be on board with everyone else. Then you're going to have to fire everybody. You will have no choice. You can't go from expected to compete for the AL Central crown to 100 losses and not everybody lose their job. Yeah, that'd be like the Chiefs winning 3 games in a year in which they were expected to compete. You can, or the Patriots winning 3 games this year or something. And it's not even that because they went to the Super Bowl last year. So there's something to put your head on. I mean, at this point, seriously, do something. It is unacceptable to continue to do nothing. That's insane behavior. Make a trade someone away, fire someone. I don't care.
Yeah, and I understand.
Literally anything would be fine.
And I understand in the quotes to Andy Rogers, J.J. Piccolo had said that, look, they've done some deep dives on the history of changing coaches in season and what does it actually mean moving forward. He acknowledged that fans, of course, want change as well. And I don't think anybody, even any fan, suggesting that if they fire the third base coach or the hitting coach, that suddenly they think that this team is going to rattle off 10 wins in a row. At this point, I don't think that's the point. And I understand general managers cannot hire and fire people just based off of Twitter. I get it. But this is June 1 now. This is not May 1. It's June 1. You're 15 games under 500. You're another 2 losses away from having the worst record in baseball. They're very close to it already, but they're about, I think percentage-wise, they're tied for the 3rd worst win percentage-wise or whatever it is in all of baseball. In a crappy division, too.
And some of it is just, you go back through, so here's the thing. I'm from Kansas City. I'm used to losing baseball. I was born in it. Yeah. It's like Bane. You nearly got used to the darkness. I'm born in this.
You and I have been part of 100-loss seasons before as fans.
Very familiar with it. But normally when they have a 100-loss season, it's like Scott Ellerton is the starting pitcher and Hunter Dozier is hitting 3rd. Okay, that's the normal circumstance. They got Bobby Witt Jr. and the 3rd most quality starts in baseball. So it's not like pitching has completely failed them ass over in like it normally happens on 100-loss season. Or they got no one on, MJ Melendez is hitting 2nd. No. They have Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino, real players. Actual good baseball players who I've seen play good baseball. And yet, I'm having to stare down the barrel of another 100-loss season when they were supposed to win 85 or 90.
Look,
that's a huge swing.
The part that at this point, I think, again, it's not so much that it solves anything today, but now that the stadium stuff is behind ownership, like I know they're doing work still, but what I mean is they've announced their stadium site and all that.
Yeah.
I will say, like, fans deserve to hear from the owner at some point here.
On expectations?
Yeah, just to acknowledge, hey, this is not acceptable. Hey, I understand that this is not what you as fans signed up for. It's not what I signed up for. We are not meeting our expectations. I am just as frustrated as you, blah, 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 blah. Where's that? That to me needs to happen here very soon as well. It's one thing when Q has to go out there every single day and try to explain, and JJ Piccolo is doing interviews, coming on this show or otherwise talking about the mistakes they have made and the misses, etc. And certainly the frustration in his mind why they're not making changes. At some point, when is John Sherman going to interview with somebody? When is he going to speak to the media though and acknowledge what is happening here with his baseball team in Kansas City? Because the optics of it are bad for him right now, because I don't believe this, but I can tell you what fans have been...
Fans say he cares more about the
fans have said, hey, you got
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either, but optics sometimes become reality for a lot of people. And so the optics are, all right, you announced your stadium, and we haven't heard from you since, and your baseball team sucks right now.
A 31-year-old Nicky Lopez hit a homer off of them this weekend.
So I think fans deserve to hear from ownership as well. Again, it does not solve something on the field today, but there is still something about showing that you give a damn, that your fans are pissed because your team stinks.
That's inevitably the issue, is that you do have to. It's, in a way, it's a show of good faith. Like, I mean, genuinely, it's a show of, like, you at least care that this is going south. And look, again, I don't agree with the sentiment that is John Sherman's only ever cared about his downtown stadium. He doesn't care about winning. Having interacted with John Sherman any number of times on this show, in person, I do think he genuinely cares about a winning product. I think it genuinely matters to him. I do. So he should be as mad as we are. Like, that's the part where, like, at some point, Gold, very often, like, you and I have been mad at our job before. Plenty of times, right? Or any job, not this job, just any time where you've been mad at a family member, and sometimes you can't do jack about it. There's just nothing you can do. You got to wear that one, or bite your lip, or just, like, hold your breath right and just hope things get better. He can do whatever he wants right now to try to remedy this situation. He can demand that they change the lineup, demand that they get rid of somebody. He can do whatever the hell he wants in order to try to remedy what has been easily one of the most frustrating seasons I can remember. Because, again, the losing is not something I'm unaccustomed to. It's like the losing when you have actual expectations and reasonable ones. Because that's the thing I'll go back to. I don't go back at the beginning of the season and say, you know what? We just had unreasonable expectations.
Be a 95-win team or something. No.
They have the third most quality starts in Major League Baseball. They have a superstar in their team. It was never unrealistic to say be competitive. I didn't say be the Dodgers. Be competitive.
Competitive in the worst division in baseball, or at least the most competitive division in baseball, too? This is not, go win the American League East, where you might have to win 99 to get there.
Yeah.
Go compete and maybe win the AL Central, where it's going to take 88, 90, reasonable number to expect. And I'll give credit to, just for the research on this, to David Lesky. This is not my research, but he said, hey, if anybody was still somehow thinking postseason, which we can all laugh out loud probably about, but
that'd be pretty crazy.
4 teams, he said, in the history of baseball have made the postseason who had a stretch of 22-37 or worse. That's, of course, what the Royals are right now. That was the 2016 Giants, the 2014 Giants, the 05 Astros, and the 1973 Mets. And those teams still only averaged 86 wins. So I'm not breaking any news here. I think most of us have moved on from the, expectation or the belief, I should say, that this team is capable.
I can't even tell you what it would take me to believe again that they could be a playoff.
No,
they'd have to be 5 games above 500, win the next 20 in a row. They've lost 6 in a row, and 16 of 19.
They have shown nothing to make you to believe that they can actually rattle off 8 of 10 anymore, even. And that's not anywhere close. That's not even anywhere close.
5-5 in the next 10. What do you mean, 8 of 10?
Yeah, they play 500 baseball the rest of the way. It doesn't do them any good. I mean, that's the hole they've dug themselves in. So I bring up the trend just for the sake of it because I thought it was interesting. Obviously, I think nobody is expecting them to break out of this in terms of a way to get back into postseason contention. It's just now, how bad is it going to get? And the question we started with, which is, are they going to lose 100 games? And for the first time this year, I answer that and I say, you know what? I think there's a real chance.
I mean, I don't know how I can't say it's realistic at this point. It's more likely they lose 100 games and go to the playoffs by 10 times. I mean, the likelihood. If there's a 1% chance, that's not even that. There's a 0.1% chance that this is a playoff team. There's like a 40% chance they lose 100 games. I mean, like at this point, they're barreling towards it. And when this works. Well, when it really goes south, when it goes south in a hurry, and all of a sudden you're like losing players, lose the confidence, lose the faith. I mean, it's tough. Make the argument on the other side. I can't.
No, I was just gonna say, if you were wondering, you were asking about the odds of making the playoffs and just where it says from a statistical standpoint to miss the playoffs now, they're minus 1,600. So the implied odds on that, I'd have to look it up, what that actually is. You're wanting a percentage. And
yeah.
I was going to pull it up real quick.
Minus 1,600 speaks to it.
Yeah, I would say
Puts it a pretty low percentage. I mean, this is, I don't know.
Minus 1,600 is a 94% probability of not making the playoffs.
According to betting, 6% chance?
According to the betting markets, they have a just under 6%, a 5-point-something% chance.
Seems high.
Of making the playoffs. Yeah.
I'm going to say, it feels like it should be that when they're doing the game logs and it's like, here's the chance you win the game. It feels like it should be in that 99.9%. They were like, we understand there are statistical chances in which teams have done this, and yet still here we are.
Don't forget, though, this year, when they are hitting home runs, we have partnered with KCUC, who is donating $50 to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for every home run the boys in blue hit this season. 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. And at KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team, you see the best in KC. Scheduled today at KCUC.com. Coming up in 15 minutes or so we will talk some basketball. The NBA Finals are set. We'll also talk a little World Cup. It is World Cup month. Argentina has just landed in Kansas City yesterday, so we'll talk a little bit about just their entrance to KC and the World Cup as it's going to really heat up here over the next couple of weeks. But let's pivot a little bit over to the Chiefs, where the OTA portion of the offseason is wrapped up. We'll get to post-June 1 cut candidates and trade candidates. As we know today at 4 o'clock Eastern, I think it is, there's a chance maybe somebody like A.J. Brown gets traded. Could Brandon Ayuk be on the move, and could that impact the Chiefs? But last week we talked about what does it look like for a top 5 offense. So let's flip it. What's it look like if somehow this defense returns to being a top 5 defense?
Which they have been a number of times over the last couple of years. So, I would think, Gold, generally speaking, we should have a lower bar. They were 5th last year, 19.3 points per game. But I think we also have to accept the fact that they are completely revamping what they are doing. So, the list of things, they've been a top 5 defense 2 of the last 3 years. They were 6th the year they were not a top 5 defense. So the pass rush has to be, I think, 10% more effective than it was last year. So if they finish with, I think, 40 whatever sacks, 44, let's just call it. I don't remember the exact number. Get to 48, Pick up 4 or 5 sacks somewhere in the system. I think Mansour Delane has to be an immediate top 20 corner in the NFL. That might be the biggest ask of the things that I'm putting in here. And they have to show signs of not the regression that they showed in the linebacker core needs to go back to a regular level. As in, Drew Tranquill can't be a turnstile. Nick Bolton needs to be a little bit better. That to me is a big thing that gets missed in last year's defense. And at the times in which they struggled is they regressed quite a bit in the linebacker core, and they're not changing the linebacker core dramatically, even though Leo Chenal's gone. So that one needs to come back to where it's medium point. A little bit more pass rush, a linebacker core that goes back closer to the normal, and Mansour, and I think they probably are a top 5 defense. And some of that is just because Spags exist, in fairness, maybe not the talent. I don't think they have the talent of top 5 defense at all. I think they have a talent of a top 10 to 13 defense.
I don't think they have the pass rush to be a top 5 defense, honestly. And that's still the biggest question that I have. I think most people have about this defense is, all right, one, can Chris Jones return to any sort of form that he's close to it? And I understand all of it was not him. I get it when you didn't have other pieces next to you on that defensive line. It makes your job that much more difficult. But can they keep him fresh throughout the season? Is Tonga going to allow Chris Jones to be Chris Jones again? I think there's a chance. Karlaftis, let's say he's that 8 to 10 sack guy. Who's on the opposite side? We don't know what that rotation is going to look like, but it's a bunch of unproven guys. Doesn't mean they can't turn out to be studs, but R. Mason Thomas, complete wild card. He's a rookie. We don't know what to expect. And Peter Woods is an interior guy, but still a rookie. We don't know what to expect. Are they going to go sign a vet? That'll change this. If you're asking what does it take to be a top 5 defense, it might be, Cody, that I think they need to sign Cam Jordan. It might be that they need to sign somebody like him for me to think this defense can be top 5.
I got a lot of faith in Spags. That helps.
Sure. And Steve Spagnuolo has an unbelievable track record. He's been the best defensive coordinator in football for a very long time. And if there's a guy that can develop R. Mason Thomas and others as the season progresses, I have faith that it's him.
It's just like the pass rush is not going to be worse than last year, is it?
It better not be.
To say improve, they were top 5 defense last year with that pass rush. Now they had Jalen Watson, Trent McDuffie,
exactly.
Brian Cook.
Is
These
the
are
secondary
all players
worse?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's your issue.
I mean, the 3 players there alone signed for like $200 million, didn't they? Between Brian Cook, Trent McDuffie, and Jalen Watson, they got like $200 million. They're not bad players. Certainly the NFL doesn't view them that way. So they lost a lot in that. And they did lose a linebacker. I'm not saying Chenal was the end all be all, but he's a nice player and a good fit for their defense to just contribute at the very least. So I don't think it's like a huge hurdle, but it does require several things to go right. I don't want to make it seem like it's not the same thing on offense where in previous years I might have just said be a decent pass rush team and you're probably top 5 with everything else you got. This year it's like be a decent pass rush team, but also your secondary can't take a huge step back, but also your linebackers need to be a little bit better, but also, it feels like I'm having to ask them to cross a few more barriers.
Is it that crazy, though, as much as I question the pass rush, is it that crazy to think, though, that whether it's Norman Lott, Gelati, or R. Mason Thomas, that one of those guys emerge as being a legit...
crazy. Like a 6 sack guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, George Karlaftis was drafted in the 20s. Okay, R. Mason Thomas was a second-round pick. Peter Woods was a first-round pick. Ashton Gelati and Omar Norman Lott were not exactly 6th and 7th round picks either. That somebody out of that group of 4 names or 5 names I mentioned, that one of those guys doesn't turn out to be, I don't want to say a superstar or star even, but
5, 6,
turn out to be a pretty consistent, reliable pass rusher. But by the way, the answer is one of them better. Otherwise you flop big time on those picks. I would argue 2 of them need to be guys that eventually average 6 sack seasons.
It's that or Karlaftis needs to have 12.
Fine.
It's like Karlaftis can have 12 or one of those guys can have 5 or 6, the way they used to do it with Dana. Karlaftis get his 8 or 9 or 10, and then the backup guy would get his 5 or 6 or 7, and the rest of it would all kind of cover itself. That version of it, I guess, is what I'm looking for or rooting for.
They've put the resources in the defensive unit to where they should be back to being top 5 fairly soon. I don't know if it'll be this year.
Sacks like 3 years ago. It's not even like that long ago they finished that high, and you're like, how?
Yeah, but how many sacks did Chris Jones have that year?
Probably 15.
Probably 12 to 15. And that's a huge part of it.
I'm done predicting that,
If Chris Jones is an 8 to 10 sack guy this year, then of course you need the floor to raise for everybody else. You need a Gelati or a Norman Lott or an R. Mason Thomas to be in that 4 to 6 sack range.
Let me see. 2023. They were second in the NFL in sacks.
All right, let's look up Chris Jones.
So
I'm just curious where was that for him.
Isn't that crazy? 2023, and now this year we're like, they better get some sack help because they got no one on that offensive line.
2013, you said?
Yeah, 2013.
Or not 13. 2023, sorry. 2023.
Sorry. You said 13. Then I still had a 3 at the end and just agreed.
2023. He had 10 and a half sacks. Yeah, 10 and a half. Yep.
What the hell did they get the rest of them?
We'd have to go look at. I'm curious now what the breakdown was in 2023. Was that a double-digit sack season for Karlaftis?
It was 10 and a half. Yes, 10 and a half for Jones, 10 and a half for Karlaftis, 7 for Amenahue, 6 and a half for Dana, 4 and a half for Tranquil. But that's the thing. You got 4 guys who were all contributing. 10 and a half, 10 and a half, 7, 6 and a half. That's what I do think that they should get, like that number of sacks from their top 4. It can be 12, 12, 4, and 4 if Chris Jones and Karlaftis just want to go off.
Yeah.
But I think it's more likely going to have to be the numbers we see here, where those guys get into the double digits, but barely. And then you have a 7-sack guy and a 6-sack guy, which doesn't seem out of this world. Like, it's asking maybe a little bit much, so maybe Jones or Karlaftis got to pick up a couple. But they need a third reliable pass rusher. And you and I have said, R. Mason Thomas or Peter Woods or Gelati or Omar Norman Lott. Feels like one of those 4 should be capable of it.
I still think that just like the offense conversation, defensively in the red zone, they were top 8 last year. They were 7th in the red zone percentage, red zone touchdown percentage allowed. They were very good and have been very good traditionally about not letting the ball get in the end zone. So I think in the conversation, we're always talking about points per game. So I think that's, they were so good last year in not allowing the ball to get into the end zone. They like a bend, not bend, but not break. But there's a little bit of that where if they did bend, they did not allow a touchdown very often. Again, inside the top 10, which I'm sure they've been for ever since Spags has probably been there, honestly, because they've been so good for that. So I think that's regardless of whether it's sacks, turnovers, whatever it is, like they can keep up the not allowing touchdowns in the red zone, then they're going to be inside of that. They're going to give themselves a shot to be top 5.
Coming up in 10 minutes or so, we'll talk NBA Finals. Matchup is set. Knicks and Spurs. Big-time upset in the West with the Thunder not taking care of business, I should say, and a Game 7 at home. So we'll get there in a little bit. We've got some super regional baseball maybe coming to Lawrence, maybe going to Atlanta. We don't know yet.
But at least feature the Jayhawks.
Yeah, how about that? Kansas baseball, first ever super regional. They won their regional yesterday. They had to beat Arkansas. If they would have lost last night, they'd be playing in an elimination game today. Fortunately, they didn't have to go that far. They were
a lot
able
of runs in the game yesterday. Goodness.
Yeah, they were able to beat Northeastern on Friday. Then they beat Arkansas Saturday night. Then they beat Arkansas again last night. And so they await the winner of Oklahoma and Georgia Tech. If Oklahoma beats Georgia Tech, Kansas will host a super regional this week. And otherwise, they will go to take on Georgia Tech, who is maybe the best team remaining in the tournament now that UCLA, the number 1 seed, lost. I looked at odds, and I think Georgia Tech and North Carolina have the 2 best odds to win the entire College World Series
so
right now.
So if there was a huge upset today at 2 o'clock, that would be massive news for Kansas.
Yeah,
they get to avoid Georgia Tech and host it in their own backyard.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that Kansas is even in this spot, and you consider what Dan Fitzgerald has done. I ended up going Saturday night. I must say, look, I'm not going to pretend that I pay attention to college baseball in February and early March. But when it gets down to this part of the season, kind of like college basketball for a lot of people, where they're like, all right, let me know when the games mean something. The atmosphere is unbelievable. Like the atmosphere is a ton of fun. I've been to the College World Series before. This is my first time at a regional. Obviously, Hoagland Ballpark, only holds before the added
hole
backyard.
17 of the Waste Management out of the backyard. It got rowdy from the looks of it.
They had an attendance record of over 4,000, including the backyard. It was awesome, man. Yeah, and the party atmosphere they created out there is pretty cool. I would love for them to host a super regional because I'll try to get out there as well. I think you would have loved it as well, Cody. I know you're not a KU guy, but
I like baseball.
I think you would have enjoyed the atmosphere, living and dying by every pitch. That's fun. It gets quiet. It gets quiet when KU was about to throw a pitch. It was awesome. I thought they did a great job with the entire atmosphere. There was definitely plenty of the student section Arkansas fan trash talk. I'm sure you saw some of the social media back and forth about that. They had to move some of the students to the outfield yesterday because the night before there was 1 or 2 idiots that decided to throw beer.
Always are.
Yeah. Some people,
did you end up just getting on the secondary sites? Just
no,
couldn't miss out the opportunity or get offered a ticket?
It's good to have a friend or two.
Go.
So
okay,
I was able to get an actual seat.
No, you weren't in the backyard. You were sitting in one of the very rare seats in the stadium.
Ticket prices were crazy. I did not pay secondary market prices. No, I was very fortunate, but I'm glad I went, man. It was really cool to be out there.
Honestly, it looked like a ton of fun. And I like when local teams are good. We talk about this all the time. I like it when KU, K-State, and MU are good at basketball or football, or in this case, if it gets late enough in the season, because I'll tell you right now, you got to make pretty much a regional or super regional for me to even entertain talking college baseball on the show. Right? I'm more likely to talk to bananas over the weekend than college baseball under most
people had a blast of that too. I know.
They did.
I know some people that went to that. And,
I got offered free tickets to that, but I had my daughter's dance recital.
Okay. I'll say your kids would love it. I went with my nephew last year, and then my nephews went again this year. And, Mahomes was there yesterday. It sold out at Kauffman. The banana, I mean, we've talked about the Savannah Bananas before.
They put on a show.
What they've been able to do is unbelievable as well. But, no, props to KU baseball. Now they get to sit back today and await the winner of OU and Georgia Tech. And I guess for the first time in my life, I'm a Sooner fan today.
Yeah, you're going to, Boomer Sooner,
That's right.
Was that there? They say something
Boomer
else?
Sooner. That's right. For today.
You and Creed Humphrey,
There you go.
You can root together.
Yeah, and R. Mason Thomas.
Thomas, yeah. Well, like some people go to a college and actually care about it, and some it's their. I don't know if that was R. Mason Thomas's school the entire time he was in college, or just where he finished.
As far as I know,
you know how it works sometimes, Drew. They're not as always committed to the college as a fan is. Creed is obviously a diehard committed to Oklahoma. Cares about the university, mattered to him that he went to school there, that kind of thing. So that's why I brought him up. Well, good luck to your Jayhawks today at 2 o'clock. If you want to pay attention, Oklahoma wins and Kansas hosts a super regional in Lawrence this week. And otherwise, they got to go to Georgia Tech, and that's.
Remember, the way it works, super regional, it's a best of 3 series. So it's a different format than what we just saw, double elimination. It's now best of 3. You best of 3, and then you could get
Who
to
would
a
they
College
host?
World Series.
They would host Oklahoma,
yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
oh boy,
Yeah, they're either hosting Oklahoma or they're going to take on Georgia Tech. One of the two.
Georgia Tech, that sucks.
Oh, well, sure.
That's a big ask, and they'll get to line up their top 3 in the rotation and the whole thing. Yeah.
So will KU. You know?
No, I know that. I just meant like
I will say with KU's
KU's
bats, they got a chance against anybody because of their bats.
Yeah, they can score.
They can put up some runs. They were down 5-0 yesterday. You maybe thought the game was over. Down 5-0 early to Arkansas. They came all the way back, scored 6 runs, 6 straight hits.
Scored 13?
And then they end up scoring, 13. I think that's right, when it was all said and done yesterday. All right, up next, let's talk about the NBA Finals. We got our matchup for Wednesday night. Knicks, Spurs, and also it's World Cup month. Argentina has landed in Kansas City. We'll get to that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes owed to the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you may now be eligible for relief through current IRS initiatives for struggling taxpayers. In some cases, taxpayers may qualify to reduce as much as 99% of what they owe. You may already be experiencing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or audits and be unaware of this important information. Call Guardian Tax now to see what relief you may be eligible for at 800-404-6851 By taking action today, you may be able to stop all collections and resolve your tax problem before your tax problem gets worse. Tax experts are standing by to review your case and fight to slash your debt dramatically. Don't let your tax problem get worse and miss this time-sensitive opportunity. Check your eligibility with Guardian Tax now. Call 800-404-6851. 800-404-6851. That's 800-404-6851.
Even on weekends and holidays, Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric shows up. Expect reliable HVAC plumbing or electric service. Plus, enjoy $500 off a new HVAC system this summer. Schedule your free consultation at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes are released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Just getting started here on a Monday. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Jay Southland, so service text line always open, 913-586-7965. We'll talk a little World Cup here in about 8 minutes or so. As you guys have seen the video by now, Messi is in town. He's in Kansas City, going to be based here for the next month plus. We also know England, Algeria, the Netherlands still going to arrive at some point. I don't know if it's this week or next week when everybody will be here. They all have different schedules depending on their first match, and everybody has different preference of how they want to get acclimated. Argentina will be at Sporting Park for a lot of their training, but they're staying at the hotel right next to KC Current Stadium. They're right on the river, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But the NBA Finals are set, and I'm every year you always wonder, like, all right, is this a matchup that excites you? Do you care as much? What does it mean for the league and all that? This is one that kind of has everything. Knicks, Spurs. We can get into the Thunder not getting it done in a second, but acknowledge what just happened, which is, one, we have a Knicks team in the finals for the first time since 1999. That in its own right is pretty cool.
Yes.
Madison Square Garden's
going
to have a final game at some point here in a week. And then you have a Spurs team. While, yes, historically they've been to the finals plenty, it's been a bit. And Victor Wembanyama is 22 years old. He's the best player in the league. And for him to go to Oklahoma City and knock off the back-to-back MVP and the defending champ in that fashion and outplay SGA throughout the entire series was so impressive.
Yeah, that part in its own right really stands out. Wemby won. Like how they say, like, that guy's never got to buy a drink in that town. Again, it's like the opposite for Chet. He might get run out of Oklahoma City after that series. Wemby made him look scared. He made him look bad. He made him look like a completely ineffective player. Like he had no idea how to play basketball anymore. So like the second, and that's what I think that's what was shocking to me is once you took Chet out of the Thunder lineup, it didn't look as good as I remembered. Once you had the worst 7-footer and one of those two guys did not matter on the court at all for the entire series, well, then the supporting cast around SGA didn't look so daunting anymore. And that's how the Spurs end up getting past them, of course, in that series. So that was surprising to me. In the end, I'll tell you, I still want the Knicks to win, even though the Spurs are the better team.
See, I actually
have the better player. But I've watched the Spurs be great in my lifetime. I've never watched the Knicks be great in my lifetime. They've been passable a couple of times. But that's it. So, why not get some, I guess, fresh blood? I also just assume at some point Wemby's winning a championship. So, if he doesn't get this one, he's getting one.
He could have one at 22 years old, though, man.
Yeah, that's rare.
And you think about what that does for
same as Tim Duncan
for the rest of his career. Ironically enough, it would be the same line as Tim Duncan. It's interesting. This is a series truly deep down. I don't have I don't have a real strong stance on who I want to win. You can make a case and sell me on why I should want the Knicks to win and how cool that is. Typically, I don't side with East Coast teams. I'm just a Midwest guy. So, San Antonio to me would be normally who I side with. Victor Wembanyama is sensational. I would love to see him win it in his first opportunity because of the significance of that moving forward. I think we looked at the odds, and the Knicks are underdogs in this series. If you were trying to find out who the underdog is, it is the Knicks slightly. The Spurs are the favorites. But
I think rightfully so.
Drew had brought up Chet Holmgren for a week or so and about that.
It got worse in that series, every game.
It is amazing how as great as you can be all regular season, and even in other postseason series, the minute, though, and it doesn't matter what sport it is, the minute when the stakes are so high, which last night, or 2 nights ago, Game 7 is about as high as stakes you can get. When you play that poorly or get exposed, even if it's against the best player in the world, it's amazing how much the narrative of you shifts to now where you're like, oh, shoot. Chet Holmgren, his extension kicks in next year. Is this going to be a problem?
Is this a Superman?
Now they can pull off some trades in the future, and we'll.
He's
see
already
what they
signed
do,
the contract.
but-
He already has the contract.
Yep.
It starts.
It's just like you start wondering, did we whiff?
Yeah, in 6 months ago, nobody was questioning the extension, right? But now it's like, wait a second. This happens in sports all the time. When you don't perform, you get exposed in a big-time situation, which Chet Holmgren certainly did. The Spurs and Wemby aren't going anywhere, so you're going to have to figure out how to match up with Wemby long-term,
And the problem is like every year in order to get to a finals, you have to get past him. And Wemby looks like classic Coke, and he looks like Shasta. I mean, there is a decided drop-off between their ability and style, despite the fact they're both supposed to do, like he was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. He was, he's supposed to be what Wemby is, but nobody's supposed to be Wemby. No one's supposed to be able to do what he does at his size. And I would still and that is, I guess, the one argument you can make for the Spurs, I guess, is I still anytime we get a player of his height, his size, do these things, I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop.
We never have gotten anybody who's done
that.
He's the only person to ever do this.
I just meant anytime, and obviously the players get slowly taller, Drew, but every once in a while we'll get a guy like Durant come in the league and be like, well, he's 7 foot and he does everything. And you're like, well, this is insane. I haven't seen a player perform at even his size.
Katie's just being able to score and handle, but Wemby's different.
But absolutely. Yeah, he's one of a kind. But then I always worry about the health. That nobody that size can ever just stay healthy.
Good news is he's 20. The good news is he's 22. So you would like to think when those issues arise, we're going to be 4 or 5 years from now.
I think that him doing the whole thing, going over to hang out with the monks and do all of that stuff is actually very helpful from the flexibility standpoint, stretching standpoint.
But he's already missed an entire season,
But that was due to blood clots. I think that's
likely to happen to somebody of his size.
It's not injury related, though. That's freak.
It depends on what we're talking about. If Cody's just talking about,
it's not Joel Embiid.
Yeah. There's a big. Are you injury prone, or are you more talking about just as being a tall individual?
Yeah, either back problems, knee problems, blood clot problems. All those things are more likely to hit you at his size. That's all.
I think some of what you're talking about is much further down the road stuff.
Maybe.
I think
at 22, maybe don't worry about it.
What Drew's saying though, it's not as if suddenly he's got back problems. He might eventually, but he's. I think at 22, we're 5 years away from having to worry about. Let's enjoy this for 4 or 5 years, before we start having that discussion. But I think the Knicks have a great chance though still in this series. We can later on Wednesday talk more about how we see the series playing out. But the fact that this is the matchup, I think this is great for the league. We talk all the time about what leagues want or don't want and what benefits them long term. Having the best player in the world in the finals is always a good thing. It just is.
I think the emotion
and then
too.
now
that can't be a bad thing.
And now the New York, you're talking about the emotion from Wemby after the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think because some people were like, "Is this corny?" I was like, "No, I think it's legitimately it's awesome because one, I think it's him making it to the finals." Them beating the Thunder, but also I think I told you guys this rivalry is existed for over a year now, and then the rivalry with Chet goes back 5 years. They played each other internationally, and Chet won every single time. And if you looked, Wemby was sick. If you guys go back, there's film of it that got posted again over the course of the weekend. Wemby would be sitting there when Chet gets a trophy, and he looks sick to his stomach. He is not like Chet Holmgren. This goes back years.
He looked like he was about to ruin his life.
This goes back years. He's been doing this ever since they got in the league. Wemby has gone at Chet on a regular basis, and we've seen Chet shrink in those games. And this year, it got to the point where you're in a series, more people are paying attention to it. You're starting to understand why he actually is doing this. Yeah, he just straight up ripped the soul out of his body. I mean, essentially is what it was. I mean, post game, he looked like he had no soul. Chet did. He looked defeated in every way, shape, and form, so much so that he wouldn't even shoot the ball. He had no shot attempts in the second half, which is kind of bonkers.
Fans and the Thunder, everybody looked shocked in that arena Saturday night when that game went final. You saw, yes, the emotion on the Spurs side for winning and Wemby, but the fans in Oklahoma City and then some of the players for Thunder, they truly just looked like shocked. You didn't take care of business in a game 6 when you could end the series for starters. So then it goes game 7, but then you're still thinking, okay, it's in our backyard. You're thinking, all right, we've got a pretty good chance of winning this. But I'm sure you guys saw the stats about Game 7s now, where we're trending in the NBA. It's kind of interesting just how
the home teams are under 500. They're 9-12, I think.
Yeah, since the 2016 finals, home teams in Game 7s, now not necessarily Western Conference finals, but in the Game 7s before the 2016 finals, home teams were 101-24, winning at a heck of a clip. Since 2016 Game 7s, 14-17. Yeah, Drew, under 500.
2021, they're 9-12, I think. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of crazy how that's shifted a little bit.
And honestly, the game was awesome. Shea was great. He was not. There was no foul baiting or anything like that. And then he had the one that kind of ruined everything and made everybody,
Yeah, when he got hit on the 3-point line.
No, he didn't get Cody. Let's be honest. He didn't get hit. He jumped sideways. Oh, he
ran into a guy.
He made a shot harder on himself to draw a foul, which was the entirety of it. But the first half was incredible because Wemby was great out of the gate. Shea was doing his thing. It was a good game. It was a really good series. I don't think it lived up to the pettiness hype that I think we were kind of hoping for, but I think we're going to see some of that. Jeremy Sohan's already talking a little bit. He played on the Spurs, so he knows Wemby a little bit. OG Anunoby's the best defender on Wemby, I think, this year or in the last couple years. So that style of the matchup is also going to be fascinating to follow, too.
Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll get back to baseball. We all know last week the owners, the Players Association, each put out their initial proposals for the next CBA. We're now getting some more information about maybe baseball and some owners speaking about the issues they already have, and what does that tell us about their negotiations? Then we'll get to that in just a little bit. But we mentioned earlier, you may have seen the video yesterday afternoon. Argentina, their national soccer team, landed at KCI, or maybe it was downtown airport, actually.
Right, downtown.
Landed in Kansas City. How about that? I'm not sure exactly which airport, but you might be right. It might have been downtown. That would make sense. Anyway, they're in Kansas City.
For the PJs,
Yeah. Well,
maybe not a plane that size, though.
No, that was a full-blown chartered, I don't know, that thing looked like an Airbus, whatever. But anyway, so Argentina's here. They're the first team to arrive that'll be based in Kansas City during the World Cup. We also know they have a match. It's the highest ticketed match in Kansas City right now. They'll take on Algeria to open up the Kansas City portion of the World Cup later on this month. So that in its own right is just really cool. Like, now it's starting to feel real. Calendar's turned to June. One of the teams is here. You got the best player in the world, one of the best soccer players ever, and Messi in town. They got quite the welcome though last night with the severe weather and everybody. Just imagine you fly 5,000 miles or whatever
Welcome
it is.
to the Midwest.
5,000 miles. You land in the afternoon. You're checking in at your hotel. They've blocked off the hotel. You own the hotel basically for the next month. They've customized it to make it feel like clearly Argentina's home and their base and everything. And then you have tornado warnings at like 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Honestly, I think they should get a customary lawn chair, a cheap domestic beer, and just teach them to sit outside their little balcony outside the hotel room and watch the storms roll in. That thing rattled my house.
See, I didn't hear anything. I live out south, so we didn't have it.
It felt like my whole house shook for like an hour and a half straight, probably, in the middle of the night. It wasn't like I would never worry about the tornadoes. I guess those were all.
So you woke up, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, because like my kids seemed like dazed and confused, like he just gotten shell shocked. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, there was definitely,
because it felt like the house was shaking where I was in Gladstone.
Yeah, I know up north and in the city, downtown or whatever I should say, that there was some severe weather. The other part that was noticeable when they landed was, so it's this charter plane. It's all branded in Argentina national team. It's got the 3 stars or whatever on there for their 3 World Cups or whatever I think it was, and it's got the number 10 on the tail of the plane. First reaction was like, 1, that's badass. You have your own number on the back of the plane you're flying in. That is sick. Could you imagine if the Chiefs had their own plane? They don't. They charter one. Could you imagine if they had their own plane and had a number 15 on the back? That'd be badass.
That'd be pretty cool.
Like, just to say your number is on the plane. And so Drew and I were talking about this before the show. This plane in particular has like quotes from Messi on it and everything. So this is geared towards Messi. Drew was wondering maybe if this is also just talking about their past history too, Maradona and company. Maybe so, but this plane was clearly Messi on it. This was Messi's
it's
plane.
Like an ode to Messi because they know it's his last World
it
Cup
is,
or something
Well,
along those
that's crazy
lines.
to get the entire tail part of the plane painted for your number.
That's pretty sick.
It does come across as like some main character energy. I don't know how that worked out exactly, but yeah.
I mean, he is one of the greatest soccer players of all time. So
you're boarding a plane that has space is basically your plane. Like, not as in just it's a private plane. I'm talking about it's an Airbus, and the whole plane is basically designed around you.
This is the thing about national sports where I wish the U.S. men's team was better. Every 4 years when we get the women's team and they compete for championships, we get to enjoy this a little bit. but we get to enjoy it. But like the men's team, I wish they were more competitive or had a better chance to win it. Home soil in your own backyard. And it's just like, we got Pulisic like celebrating just getting a goal in a match, And like at this point, it's like, I wish they had this kind of history because you can see like the national pride that comes with being a World Cup powerhouse. Man, it's got juice.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's everything to those countries. I mean, that's this is what this is why it's great that the two of the teams we have base camp wise, or three, I'll include the Dutch as well.
Oh yeah, they got a huge
Netherlands, and Argentina and England. I mean, that soccer is everything to those countries. And so, yeah, and odds wise too, we are hosting two of the top 5 favorites to win the World Cup, which is kind of cool. I know England's not playing a match here in Kansas City, but still, England's based here. They have the 3rd best odds to win the World Cup. And then you have Argentina that's tied with Portugal with, the 5th best odds. Spain's the favorite. France also right there with Mbappe and company, plus 450. I think we're going to start feeling the excitement more. I understand there's been a ton of stories. We've talked about them on there about perhaps disappointment around this hotel mess, and we'll see what it ultimately is. But in terms of just the excitement around it, and seeing more and more things pop up around the city. You and I were looking at the concert schedule last week for the Fan Fest and everything.
The fact that it actually
I'm excited for that. Like Drew and I know you're going to try to go to one as well when you get back in town. Like we're going to a World Cup match this month. That's in our home city. That's cool. That's amazing.
Only 3 weeks.
Drew, what's the day on that?
3 weeks from Thursday.
25th.
Yeah. So 3 weeks from Thursday, right?
Yeah.
You guys are.
Yeah, I think you're going to go to the Algeria.
That's the one.
Austria, Algeria.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to try to go to, or at least that's the one I've been monitoring. I keep hoping the ticket prices are coming down. I'll say this: they've stagnated, so like I don't have to worry about it. I guess at this point, them like taking some big rise in price. Up to this point, I'm just trying to decide if I could get in last minute.
Is this true? Somebody said that Messi, he didn't even go on that plane. He took a private jet while the rest of the team was on the actual.
I mean,
either way, that's even more badass. I got this plane that they made for me.
And I won't even fly on it.
They painted the scheme,
powerful.
and I'm on my own private jet coming in. If that's true, that's sick too.
You can't. I mean, he can afford it. I don't know what his net worth is.
There
is
you
he
go.
getting close to $1 billion?
Someone works at KCI said the team jet landed, the team plane landed at KCI. Messi flew into downtown.
Yeah, somebody says if you've got more than 20 people, you can't go through customs at downtown airport. So if you're you got a whole team and all the team officials and the coaches,
they're going to be
going to the main.
They're based, in Riverfront, but they're practicing out by Drew over in the Legends area at Sporting.
Yep.
Drew, I mean, are you going? Drew might see Messi walking around the Legends or something. You know,
might be. Someone might be waiting in line for him behind Dave and Buster's. You're going to
notice Drew is just going to be walking around the Legends way more the next month or so, just in case.
You never know. I'm going to go to the Coach store, the Michael Kors store.
Yeah, you better go to those. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be, with all due respect, I don't think he's going to be at the outlet, Old Navy or Gap or whatever.
But do they go out? I mean, are they going to be at a pub? Are they going to be at are they going to be out and about doing stuff or no?
I don't know.
Do we think that the team keeps a tight lid on the players outside of it? Because Argentina's got essentially it's a complex. Mm-hmm. They've, and England too, right? Where if they want to just stay in their facility, stay in their hotel, stay between practice there, and they're obviously trying to win a World Cup. So I imagine there's not
locked in. Yeah, I don't know. The security aspect too. I mean, Messi. He's not going anywhere without the security around him. I mean, he's
not
going to
get 20 feet of that person.
Going to get bombarded by people. I mean, that goes without saying for any of the stars at that level.
It is officially World Cup month.
Yeah,
here in
we've been talking about it for 3 years, 4 years, whatever. I know we officially found out 3 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. Good reminder, by the way, we have places for you to watch some of the matches. Join 96.5 The Fan on Friday, June 12th, as CDOT and Rob broadcast live from the Peanut in the Northland starting at 2. We'll be giving away coolers and other prizes for those in attendance. Then hang out and watch USA play as they kick off at 8 o'clock. Our watch parties this summer are presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer. So if you're just looking for a place to watch a match, we'll have a chance for you to do that coming up on June 12th.
Yeah, hope to see you out at a couple of those. We'll be doing that for a few of the USA matches. There's so many, of course, hope to see you at our watch parties. There's so many different events tied around the World Cup that are going on over the next month. I mean, the Fan Fest is the biggest thing, of course, in the setup, and they claim that no matter where you are at Fan Fest, you'll have a big screen to watch any of these games. So, the Liberty Memorial setup, we all remember for the draft. Now they're doing a great job with it for the World Cup. And I think June 11th is the first match. So that'll be the first day you can go out to FIFA.
It's just 10 days
Fan
away.
Fest. Yeah, so I think you and I were talking about this, that it happens to coincide. There's a Royals day game, so we're off the air a little early that day. And so right after the show, I'm going to try to run over there just to get a feel of what the Fan Fest is before it gets really crazy.
I think Mexico plays that day.
Yeah, Mexico,
in the
South
afternoon?
Korea. I think it's the opening match of the World Cup.
Oh, go check it out. It's on. It's still cool. I'm going to try to do as much as I can around the World Cup stuff in the city because we're not getting it again in my lifetime, so I might as well enjoy it outside of that. I was looking around over, like Royals aren't any good. And you're like, all right, what kind of things are people talking about in the sports world that aren't Royals related? And I found what I find to be an interesting article from a national writer over at SB Nation, which he just simply asked the question. Because we talk about the popularity of sports. We know the things that are driving us crazy about baseball. I think I got a sense of the things people don't like around the NBA, the tanking and the flopping. The NFL is king. And so they had put out an article simply asking fans, what are the things you don't like about the NFL? What are the things that are driving you crazy about the NFL? Because I was like, what could be the breaking point? Because we were talking about all the schedule stuff, what the Kelsey brothers were saying. And if you look at all the comments, all the different stuff they get on there, here are the ones. 1, 17 games schedule. They want to go back to 16 games. Bad news for them, there's a huge amount of people that want it back to 16 games, even number, your divisional games outside of that. Some of it is the obvious. I don't want to watch a game on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, all that other stuff. But one of the ones that consistently pointed out that I guess are the two things that consistently showed up that I'm curious, allow you, or I want to ask you guys, 913-586-7965, from a local end. The two that stood out to me, one is the cost of a ticket has gotten absolutely ridiculous. Like, I cannot go to an NFL football game. And the truth is, Gold, like, if I wanted to take my family of 4, I'm in several $1,000s. At that point, you are just like, how much further am I away from a trip to Disney? And then the other one was that they're sometimes on Prime, Netflix, and Peacock and all this other stuff. But in fairness, from a local, then that shouldn't bother you, in my opinion. You will always get the local, so I feel like that has no bearing. But the cost of a game, I will say it's harder to be a fan than it's ever been of an NFL team and enjoy the product in person. So you better like the TV product. Going to a game has become, I think, priced out for a huge majority of the market. In a way that, like, it'd be nice if, like, you could occasionally afford a game,
Other than, as you said, if you're trying to watch teams not in your market, watching the game at home, there's a lot of people that would say, I can sit on my couch, it's comfortable, the beer's a hell of a lot cheaper or whatever. Yeah. And I can and now, everybody's got, for the most part, pretty nice TV at home or whatever, right? To watch it. Some people have some ridiculous setups now in their house to watch some of these games too. So yeah, I mean, it's that some people are just fine with doing that. I still, if you can pull it off, I still think there's nothing like going to an NFL game. I think the adrenaline rush and the atmosphere, there's nothing better. But to your point on the financial end of it, yeah, how many people can afford to go to a game a year, let alone multiple games a year? Tickets are insane.
One, if you're lucky. Yeah. You'd be sitting 300s, 400, you'd be sitting Jordan Love memorial seats, and you'd be paying what, $250, $350 a ticket? The streaming, in a good year, worse.
Yeah, the streaming stuff is not my number one complaint. My thing still in it's not so much just the generic officiating is poor. It is just the inability for the NFL to acknowledge that there are plays, and there's one in particular, that they clearly cannot officiate properly. And
pass interference, tush push.
Pass interference and tush. Pass interference has always been a thing, right? The tush push is something that could very easily be either banned because it's a boring ass play, or they have no ability to actually judge false starts or not.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's one of my biggest issues with the NFL right now would be that. Just, hey, it's one thing if officiating that particular play. Yeah.
You really
there's always going to be complaints about officiating. We are talking about humans trying to make judgment calls, split second, as fast as the league is now, all of that. And this is why I think you and I have talked a lot about they should be full-time officials, that the training is not up to par. So it's officiating as a whole, but one specific thing that I think is the easiest fix, they could have just got rid of the tush push, would have solved the boring play, would have solved the inability to make a correct call.
The officiating, but in fairness, maybe they've solved part of that? Like, not the tush push part, but they're working through that agreement that's going to make the NFL officials full-time, so I guess problem solved, maybe, in that hypothetical. Look, I will warn people that even if they made the officials full-time, it's not going to make them get every call correct. I will say easily one of those, so the affordability is really tough. It doesn't probably I'm lucky You and I could use if I want to go to a Chiefs game, I can go to a Chiefs game. So I'm a bit lucky.
Right.
And that because I can do it. Genuinely, I hate, and this is not an NFL specific problem, I hate the way we have squeezed advertisements into areas that don't need it. Like, I'll watch the commercial. I get it. I don't need the split screen, 30% of the screen. Here's an ad for whatever. Here's this. Like, it's gotten to a point of like, rate it in or stop here. Like, we are good. Like, I don't need the mound thing and when they go to a pitcher's break and the regular commercial break. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is a sports thing in general. It's gotten to the point now that I'm at my peak. You don't need to squeeze the life out of it. You can find like a level in which I get it. You got to make money off of the advertisers. I work in radio. We're good. But like, there's a level.
We'll revisit this question, though, because I know people are texting in 913-586-7965. We'll get back to this later on in the show. Just the one thing right now annoys you the most about the NFL, maybe in sports, period. Up next, thinking of sports, we know baseball is going to have this CBA fight. We got some details last week, but there was some new information over the weekend about the floor, the cap, and the current layout of the league and whether or not the owners are also admitting something exists already. That's coming up next here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The calendar has turned to June. Baseball season's in full swing. That means the summer heat is on its way, and the guys over at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. So stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. That's 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control, heating, cooling, and plumbing.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
You love your land. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love all the great deals. With versatile compact tractors, professional-grade mowers, and durable utility vehicles, Kubota equipment can help you turn dream projects into reality. Kubota Orange Days is here, and so are the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, get select compact tractors with 0% financing available or save up to $5,500. Sale ends soon. Go to KubotaOrangeDays.com or stop by your local dealer for more information.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit. Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Hi, folks. Bob from Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, my sister Kathy wants to buy a Bronco at an employee price.
What perfect timing, because right now Blue Springs Ford is giving employee pricing to everyone.
So what's the real difference in pricing?
2025 Bronco Sport starting at $29,000.
Wow, that's less than $30,000.
Up to $10,000 off MSRP on 2026 F-150s, and you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now, because this ends soon.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in.
I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier.
Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
There's only one Ozempic. Hello, I'm Ozempic, and I'm other GLP-1s, kind of like him. Ozempic, you redid your jingle?
Thanks for noticing. Catchy, right?
No.
Okay, then. Well, ask your doctor about which FDA-approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic.
There's only one Ozempic.
I told you it was catchy.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The Kansas City Royals and Community Blood Center are teaming up for their annual Royals Weeks and Summer Blood Drive. Donate at any CBC location between now and June 14th, and you'll receive 2 redeemable ticket vouchers for a 2026 Royals home game while supplies last. The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
$11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day in about 20 minutes or so. Another news story. We got audio for it. It involves roller coasters. Yeah.
Roller coasters, huh? I haven't been on a roller coaster yet this year. I'll try to get out to Worlds of Fun once.
I haven't been on a roller coaster since, I'm not even kidding. Cody, it might have been since, it's probably been at least 12 years.
I guess the issue is like one of my kids claims to be afraid of heights, even though they've never really been at a height that would justify it, but maybe that speaks to it. Yeah. And then my other kid always has the gusto to get in the line, think they're going to do it, and then bails last minute.
Yeah, I get that.
And so like I got to balance the we go to Worlds of Fun when you're willing to just try, give it a shot. We got to get on some of these roller coasters.
We've talked about this, Drew. Are you a roller coaster guy or no?
I guess so. I'm not all about them, but I like roller coasters. I enjoy them.
Yeah,
I just got to you just got to be careful. The last couple of times I've gone, I've had the imbalance of not having anything in my stomach, which is not good, compared to also having too much in your stomach, which also is not good.
You gotta eat.
I haven't been to Worlds of Fun in a while. I need to get back out there, but as you guys know, height's not my thing. So it's a fine line of me at the theme park.
How high up on a coaster
park.
you're going? Fair enough.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that coming up in the trash of the day. I was looking at some of the comments from the MLB owners. We know that, like Jeff Passman reporting from SportsCenter, they're miles apart. We knew they were miles apart. None of that is surprising. It's the very initial part of it. But Nightingale had written an article, and he was talking about MLB owners and the way that they were talking about owners and executives, the way they were talking about it. And an owner had said, quote, those teams certainly won't be paying money into revenue sharing as it relates to subsidizing expansion. Those teams certainly won't be paying money into the revenue sharing, so it'd be less money for everyone else. What's the added benefit? To get more fans engaged? I'm not sure expansion will drive fan engagement in either market anyway. And when you hear a comment like that, this why would we want to subsidize two more small market teams? This is the problem, and this is what the players pitch. The owners know that their sport has a problem, and they're on paper trying to fix it, although I'm not really sure that they are, because they're still talking about the fact that they don't want to subsidize small markets. The Royals genuinely might be one of the only small markets to win a World Series ever. Like the NBA had 3 in the Final Four. The 3 of the Final Four teams were the Oklahoma City Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Not exactly some juggernauts of market size. And they're essentially saying and the NBA is getting ready to add 2 more markets. They're essentially saying in baseball, it's not even worth it. What are we going to do? Baby these small market teams who don't take care of it? Baseball admitting that they have a huge problem, but not actively trying to solve it is really funny to me. That they've had this problem this whole time. And they don't even care to be equitable.
Yeah, that's how a majority of the owners feel. I mean, this has been a big problem for the idea of like sharing revenue and trying to have the TV pooled all together. Is that you can't get the owners in some of these bigger markets. I know. Yeah, I mean that's why the NFL. You can be a team in Green Bay, Kansas City, or a team in LA, and you can compete and win a championship on a fairly regular basis because you're playing from a level. It's a level playing field. Yeah. Again, two of this. You think about it, you can be the face of the league and be the quarterback in Kansas City. It's very difficult to be the face of the league in baseball and be in Kansas City. You can be a star. Bobby Wood Jr. is a star, but can you be the face of the league? These are all things that the other leagues have done better based off of their setup. The part that I did think was
all of them.
Yeah, the part that I did think was interesting, and I don't know what the final details will be. Right, as you said, they're so far apart. But as it currently sits, it was I think Dan Fines over on social media put this together. He's a former sports anchor based out of Seattle, and he was going through and adding up the current payroll spend that would be lost due to the proposed hard cap. Remember, the owners proposed a hard cap, okay? That number, if you add it all up, what would be lost? It'd be just over $587 million in spend. If you add up the money that would have to be spent to raise the floor, right, to lower the payroll teams to reach the floor, it would be $570 million. It's almost a wash in the grand scheme of things. Now, I understand that the cap and the floor, those are not the dollar amounts.
And they didn't say hard floor. There might just be financial punishments for teams who don't spend enough.
But it's kind of crazy to think about that. And that dollar amount right there, that's an issue. If owners stick with that as far as their PR game for this negotiation, that's a difficult thing to try to tell fans that the owners having a floor and a cap is going to cost the players all this money when they can say, hey, look, at our number that we proposed, with a cap and a floor, it almost becomes a wash in terms of spending. Because the players' biggest argument is that it's going to cause teams not to spend as much, and the players won't. It'll impact the Juan Sotos of the world, where they won't ever get that $1 billion contract. But the majority, 90% of baseball, is their salary going to go up? That's the whole debate and argument, and the points that I told you. I think the players have got to find a way, if they want to quote unquote win the negotiation, of playing the game better. And this should be something that owners push hard in their public push for the CBA, which is that, hey, if we have a floor and we have a cap, the spending is actually, it's almost going to be a wash.
It's the only of the 4 majors that a small market can't compete in. Like, has no chance to compete in. Genuinely, the Royals winning the World Series in 2015 is tantamount to an absolute miracle. Water into wine stuff. It makes no sense in baseball. Even the ones who win in a small market are like, what about the Marlins? They're in Miami. That is a top 5 market in the United States. Just because they operate like a little guy doesn't mean they actually are. They're in a massive metro area. The NBA doesn't have any problem with it. The NFL has absolutely no problem with small market teams continuing to thrive. You can still make more money as a franchise by being in New York. Your franchise will be worth more. Your building will be worth more. All the stuff that comes with being in a major market. You have to be richer to own the Cowboys than you do the Chiefs. Whatever it is, right? Like, those things will still exist. There'll be advantages of being a major market team. But you should want the sport to be competitive. And they're just like, what, I want to subsidize a couple of little guys? Yeah, every other sport does it. It's not that big of a deal. And so, like, you should want to, as an owner, you should want growth. You should want more people in more markets invested in baseball. You should want to be playing international series. Like, the NFL wants to grow its sport. You should want to grow your sport in markets. And you're fighting against that because you don't like little markets to do well. You should want little markets to do well. And look, maybe the cap would help that. I think there's still some funny money going on in there, to your point, but at least there's some part of it. Little news out of the NFL. It's very minor. Ian Rappaport reporting, by the way, Pro Bowl quarterback Russell Wilson was offered a backup quarterback job, he says, but is elected to instead accept an offer to join CBS Sports team for their Sunday pregame show.
We just talked about this last week, right? We were talking about him taking a visit to New York.
He's not retiring yet, but he's putting a pause on his playing career.
Yeah, we briefly touched on this last week. I think it was maybe on Friday's show. Just about how, he had one visit and he's probably headed to a broadcast booth, and how will he be moving forward. I love how his agent made sure we knew, like, oh, he had
a job.
He had an offer, but, he's choosing the broadcast, right? I want to make sure everybody know he could have kept playing. No, I don't know if that's true. He took a visit to New York. The reports are they did not offer him a contract.
He's claiming he had an offer from, he didn't say which team.
Yeah.
Either way. From someone in order to join, because then everybody does, if he retires, is he a Hall of Famer and all this other stuff?
I mean,
my answer is no.
He'll be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
Because he won a Super Bowl and went to 2?
But I think we forget how dominant he was in the first half of his career. I think the problem is people have soured on him because of the stuff here on the back end, not only in Denver, but also his whole personality. People don't like it, and so people are using that as a negative against him.
But his dominant run was only
enough to damage his Hall of Fame case.
His dominant run was till he was 32, 12-4 his final year in Seattle. Then it was really bad. These final 5 years have been. I mean, up until he left Seattle,
he's got borderline numbers. It's borderline numbers. 10. I know we joke about the Pro Bowl, but I'm just saying he's got 10 Pro Bowl selections, top 15 in all-time passing yards and
career
touchdowns.
Yards, 353. Yeah, is he top 10 in those?
He's fifth all-time in passer rating, fourth all-time in rushing yards by a quarterback. I get why people want to debate it. It is definitely a closer one.
He didn't really lead the NFL in much. Sometimes it's like when I think Hall of Famer, it's like I like to see, like, on the Pro Football Reference or Baseball Reference, I like to see some, like, big numbers. He led the NFL in passing touchdowns once.
Yeah, he never won an NFL MVP. No. Was never a first-team All-Pro. No, those are the knocks for sure. I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer by any means. It's going to take some time for him to get in, whatever that is. But do you think we ever see him play in the league again, or do you think he'll do it? I think once you get in the broadcast thing, you're done.
I don't know. I mean, Phillip Rivers was on an NFL field last year.
That's such an outlier, though.
I don't want to say never.
He was coaching high school football, and his buddy was the head coach of the Colts, and they had him come back for a weird 3-game stretch.
Looking back at the photos of that makes it even feel like I was in a fever dream. Like, what? Phillip Rivers played in the NFL last season? It's crazy. Said he's not retiring yet, Gold, but
those pregame shows, I told you, the only one that's decent is the NFL Network one, and
I don't watch any
now. The ones on Fox and CBS, the national NFL hour before kickoff ones, are just a waste of time. There's nothing new that is said or anything like that. They're not.
But yeah, it's they don't move the needle much. It's fine. He'll be entertaining enough, I think. Depends on if they take some of that stuff out of it.
Hey guys, Russell here. Yes, the typical boring, Russell, the robot Russell, the one you guys love to know. Real exciting. I'm real exciting. But anyways, everybody has to have an alter ego, right? And I've been thinking about what my alter ego would be, and I think I have an alter ego. His name's Mr. Unlimited. You gotta be unlimited.
Oh my God, it's so bad. We'll get to the trash of the day coming up in 7 minutes. I do want to talk about a court case that's taking place right now between the NCAA and Brendan Sorsby, the current, Texas Tech quarterback who was scheduled to be their starter this year before he was banned from college football for betting on the sport. This he has a temporary injunction today. Like he has a hearing. I didn't see the results of it, but he had a hearing today at 9 a.m. to discuss his he's trying to get a temporary injunction against the NCAA to allow him to continue to remain active. Him being able to even get a court case and make a case in court speaks to the fact that the NCAA has lost all control of the sport. And I do mean all of it. Gold, of all things in sports, that is the most slam dunk, without question, easiest cases on the planet. It's get a person kicked out of your sport for betting on your sport. It's the easiest thing to do in all the sports. It's the easiest, we'll get you out of here. They're having a hard time keeping 30-year-olds out of their sport who are playing like pros. They can't even keep out someone who bet against their sport from being able to sue them and take it to court. In the end, I don't think he'll actually play.
No, he's never going to play college football.
But the fact that he's fighting it and has any kind of case
because he has the right to fight it, right?
The NCAA is crazy.
He has the right to fight. Anybody can.
But previously they wouldn't even have tried. I guess is the point.
Well, they would have tried. This is the difference between the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball compared to this. Remember, they have collectively bargained through a players' union, basically clear-cut policies for the most part. Yes, it is an NCAA rule not to gamble on the sport, and I'm with you. He has no business ever playing college football again. But because there is not a union and it's not collectively bargained, there's still some wiggle room here. This court case, or this injunction, is underway in Lubbock County. So I guess there's an outside chance that this judge could rule in his favor. Then it still gets appealed. Then he'll lose there. But it's a waste of time. He's never playing college football again. There's no chance, especially the updated details over the weekend. I'm sure you saw that he placed 40, according to court documents, 40 bets on Indiana while he was the quarterback at Indiana. Yeah. Even if he wasn't playing, he still was on the Indiana football team. 40 of them.
He had a problem. I mean, obviously Clearly. He has a problem. I don't think there's any question about that. But before, I felt like the NCAA used to be able to squash these things immediately. But they've lost all institutional control, in my opinion. They got they don't know where this thing's going. They're just banking on the legislature to maybe save them from themselves because they don't know how to win this thing. It is an interesting position they're put in where this is the least amount of power I've ever seen them have. And the fact that there's even a court case in which this can be challenged is interesting to me. Do you guys even worry that there's a 1% chance?
No.
Because even a 1% chance they'll somehow find a way?
No, because
at least they kept out the player last year from, where was it? Where was he? Alabama, the kid who had been in the G League that they were trying to sneak through.
Again, maybe there's a slim chance he wins here in Lubbock County, but after that it gets appealed and then it gets shot down either. So he's never playing college football again.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
college basketball is a lot worse than this whole situation. This whole situation is just because it's Brennan Sorsby. He did it, but in college basketball, they have a much bigger problem in college basketball right now.
They got no control. It's just all of college sports. They got no control. Drew, they're having to fight every single roster decision for any team in court, and they're losing 70% of them. They're losing every shambless one. Any of the ones that are fringe, in which you have real questions about, they lose all of those. They win the ones where they're like, all right, that guy's 30 and he played for the Celtics 2 years ago. Maybe we don't let him play. But if it's anything fringe, they're losing.
Yeah. There's a decent amount that they've won here, particularly with football. But those are eligibility things. Those are not sports betting. I think, which is the big difference. Where even if the NCAA had complete control over everything, it doesn't stop the players from betting. Just like how in the NBA,
having to fight this is embarrassing. Is my point. They shouldn't even have to be going. I'm just saying, I think there's a previous era in which a college athlete wouldn't even have fought this suspension. They've just accepted the fact that they can't win it. But because there is no collective bargaining and all these contracts are essentially up into question of, can you hold me to any of this, essentially from a institutional standpoint, really puts him at odds a little bit with some of these. He should just he should just pray some team will take a chance on him. If he had any chance of being a first, second, or third round pick, he should hope somebody takes him in the supplemental and do everything he can in order to.
My guess is.
Can he go to JUCO?
No, I don't think so. No. My guess is somebody will eventually, if they have a supplemental draft, he will get drafted. I don't know if it'll be a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, whatever. But I think somebody will give him an opportunity, and then we'll see, and it'll be a fascinating story to follow down the road. But his college career should be, and I think is, over. But we'll keep an eye on the court case hearing, I should say, today. Again, I think there's a small chance that he could win this one, but then it gets appealed again, and I don't think he would. The gambling aspect is, to me, just a no-brainer. But anyway. All right, let's get to the trash.
Trash of the day.
All right, this story is from Fox 8 in Ohio. That's what I was asking you about roller coasters for. Let me play this for you. It has to do with an influencer that went on a roller coaster at Cedar Point there in Ohio.
Try to eat a 10-piece nugget while on a roller coaster? What is wrong with you?
If anyone asks, I do not have chicken nuggets in my underwear. All right?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so that is YouTuber Alan Farrell doing exactly what he said he would do.
Oh, look at the sauce.
Eats a 10-piece chicken nuggets while riding Millennium Force. And yes, as you saw, he did dunk them in sweet and sour sauce that went everywhere. Alan's whole YouTube channel is filled with similar food challenging videos, and this one has gone viral, racking up about 700,000 views. As you can imagine, Cedar Point was not thrilled by this, saying that it has a zero tolerance policy for inappropriate and unsafe behavior, and they have banned him from the park forever.
So he's banned forever from the amusement park because he can't. He cannot.
Like, if he has a ticket, they got like a picture up of him.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's how that works or what. But
yeah.
he was eating chicken nuggets, and they were worried that he was going to choke, and I guess they would have a death on the coaster and get sued or whatever. What made him think of this, I guess? I know he does different challenges, but what made him even think of this? Do you think you could even eat anything on the coaster, other than the consequences now? With 10 chicken nuggets, he's dipping it. You can see the video, the sauce is flying back in his face.
No, I feel maybe.
I think you choke
maybe
on
cotton candy? It's got to be something that, you don't have to do a lot of chewing. Right?
Yeah.
You can't risk choking to death.
Yeah.
For being on an airplane or being on a roller coaster. I will say, when you were a kid, did you do all the stupid stuff we would do, where you'd loosen the seatbelt or keep the stuff too loose so you could fly?
I was nervous because I didn't like heights.
I did all of that stupid stuff when I was on the risky behavior to be like, I hope I make this even more dangerous, like flying at 50 miles an hour on this version.
When I went to amusement parks because I didn't like heights, I was already a nervous wreck sitting there. I was waiting to get to the top of the Mamba. So I was making sure the seatbelt was tight.
Did you do that stuff, Drew? You didn't seem like you were much of a risk taker. You seem like you probably played it safe as a kid.
I wasn't there to take a risk. I was there to enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more by taking. Dude, on those old coasters, I'd be like, is that all locked in? You'd unclick it a little bit. Or on the Monsoon, we'd pretty much just completely unbuckle.
Yeah,
and you'd almost fly out of your seat. Oh, horribly unhinged behavior. Teenagers are stupid. They do stupid risk-taking things.
We need to get Drew to Worlds of Fun. He's never been on,
That is crazy.
I have been to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio.
But we got to get you to the local one. If you're listening,
I have rode on Millennium Force as well, the roller coaster that this guy was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Send us some tickets.
How's that ride?
We'll take Drew.
If I remember right, it's a solid roller coaster. It's one of the big ones, I suppose, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I've been there.
Someone wants a garage sale idea where you do the ripcord with you, Gold, at Worlds of Fun.
Oh, gosh.
The ripcord for someone with a height problem, that's the worst kind of thing to be on.
Oh, hell no.
I've done it. Been a long time, but I've done
chance. That or the detonator. I can't do it, guys. I can't do that. No. The zip line's one thing. I've done a zip line before. Oh, between
the zip line,
I've done a zip line.
Ripcord?
The ripcord or the detonator, which one do I like? Oh.
Like if you had to do one.
Oh man, I think I would do the detonator before the ripcord, but that's tough.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that. I'm looking at the ripcord now. I don't think I would do the ripcord.
You guys, I'd be toward. I mean, you guys would have to have
a
heart. You guys need a heart monitor on me as well at the same time, just to see.
I don't care for the free fall stuff. The roller coasters are fine with me. I don't care for the free fall stuff.
Someone says, isn't Oceans of Fun closed due to cold water? Yeah, there was a big story about people were upset with the rides closed. Yeah, the water's not warm enough yet. So people are mad. They went a weekend or two ago, and a lot of the Oceans of Fun rides were closed. Well, the water wasn't warm enough. I mean,
they don't have heaters? I don't know how this works.
I haven't been there in years, so much has probably changed with the theme park,
I
told you my favorite ride there was the Timberwolf. That was my favorite ride, the old wooden coaster.
When they brought back the Zambezi Zinger. Remember I went out there before the show?
Timberwolf's still there, right?
Yeah, it was being.
So I would go on
worked
that
last summer, I think.
That I'm good with. Like that's a ride for sure. I'm going on. The height of that does not bug me as much.
We were gonna do. Someone said live broadcast from Worlds of Fun. We were gonna do one from Worlds of Fun.
We were very close.
When they were opening the Zambezi Zinger, and then they pushed back the opening, and the new date didn't work, and we couldn't do it anymore.
You still went to the
We
ride
tested the line and all that stuff. Alex and I were gonna be out there in that little area down by like the concession stand, just broadcasting live for I don't know the hell of it. I guess.
It's because it was right after we were talking about LRZ.
Yeah,
doing his date with the supermodel.
We
were like, he went on a date with the supermodel to Worlds of Fun. He was in Kansas City for 3 months, and he managed to go to Worlds of Fun on a date. Drew's been here for 3 years almost. He hasn't gone to Worlds of Fun. LRZ wasn't messing around.
Apparently not.
Yeah, maybe we can come up with something.
I won't eat.
Fury
I won't eat
Denial
chicken
would be
nuggets.
fun. Yeah, don't eat chicken nuggets on the rides. They'll kick you out. You'll get banned for life. We've learned that now. All right, up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. June 1 is here. That's significant for a couple players in the NFL. Could we see a move happen later on this afternoon, and could it impact the Chiefs? That's next here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I was thinking about people who have to work outside. It's like supposed to be rainy this week. It was storming last night. It's about to be hot in Kansas City. Maybe you're looking for a career, not a job. Centric can get you trained in that career in as little as 4 months with guys like Russ and their other graduates. They work with graduates from there to train you in those things. They train you in real life stuff, Cole. That's what's so great about it.
They just had their AI sales event. It wrapped up last week. We were telling you about that, how you can integrate AI in sales in your everyday life. Maybe you're not looking just for a new career, but you already have a career. They give you the tools to grow. They offer the hands-on IT career training, expert-led upskilling for teams, as I mentioned, and organizations as well. And yeah, when it comes to partnerships around the area, how about 1,700 different employer partners that will help you get that job? The career services team will land with those partners. All you got to do is go to Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com.
We all have that one painting project we've been putting off. For me, it was the exterior. I finally called CertaPro Painters, and you know what? I wish I'd done it sooner. They provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price. And what I loved most was the communication. I never had to wonder what was next because they provided reliable daily updates. They treat your home with respect, like it deserves. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon. You wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell doesn't fudge on deliciousness. Our new black raspberry fudge ice cream in pints and half gallons combines black raspberry flavored ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a chocolate fudge swirl. The result is real. Taste the truth.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Kansas City metro area Hy-Vee locations and all Walgreens.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
and Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
The Kansas City Auto Show is back, taking over the Overland Park Convention Center with more brands, more test drives, free parking, and all new family-friendly features. Get your tickets now at kcautoshow.com. The Kansas City Auto Show, June 4th through 7th.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
You know how when you're in stop-and-go traffic and everyone stares at you every time you touch your brakes? You really shouldn't. Luckily, you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour video stream up and running in 4K over on YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook. You can watch the show there. Also, Cody keeps an eye on the chat on Twitch and YouTube. You guys can always text in. I usually keep an eye on the Jay Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll talk some Chiefs football now, and we were already planning on talking about post-June 1 because that's always a significant date in the NFL, as some players and teams, due to financial reasons, that's when moves are more likely to happen. And we have a couple wide receivers that could be on the move soon, most notably A.J. Brown. Real quick, we will mention in the last, 10 minutes, Cody, or so?
Yeah.
Former Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. has signed a new deal with the New York Giants. He's back, 33 years old. He worked out again for the team that drafted him. Of course, they once traded him. Now he's back with John Harbaugh and the Giants. They've had a bunch of injuries already, ACL injuries there with the Giants, so they need some bodies. They'll see if they can get anything out of Odell Beckham Jr. at 33 years old, somehow still around in the National Football League. So
33, it feels so... Wide receivers, like after 30, Matt changes a little bit. Because 33 feels like he might be 43 at this point, right?
You could have told me he was 38 and I would have believed you.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, I'm not even... messing around. You said 33, but that doesn't seem
so he
right.
So he signs.
He didn't sign 2 years ago with the team.
No, he did not play last year or whatever. Yeah. So now after he's signed with the Giants, the bigger names, Brandon Ayuk, A.J. Brown, 3:00 this afternoon, we could see some movement, maybe pretty quickly, at least with A.J. Brown. Everybody's been linking him to the Patriots in a Patriots-Eagles trade. Listen to Jeremy Fowler. This was yesterday, kind of laying it all out, what we could have happen today.
Yeah, that we're getting really close here. Okay. And I was told the Patriots remain confident that they can get this deal done. When I checked with a source on trade terms, I was told that sides are, quote, working on it. And so after 4:01 p.m., around 4:01 p.m. tomorrow is when, that time that we've been waiting on, the Eagles can spread out that cap hit over 2 years instead of one. So the Patriots are hopeful that they can try to get a deal done shortly after that window opens, but they still have to agree. I'm told they have not been overly crazy about giving up a first-round pick, which is what Philly's kind of wanted all along here. So they got to find a sweet spot on the trade terms. Does it include maybe a conditional pick or maybe a pick going back to New England? That's what they're sorting through. Brandon Ayuk's future is squarely in limbo right now. So after June 1st is when the 49ers can save about $20 million on the cap if they were to cut him. I've talked to two rival executives who believe that he's simply untradeable right now, that it's just going to be hard to move on because of the knee issue. Didn't play all last year. He's kind of ghosted the 49ers at times. They haven't really had a lot of communication with him. And then you got the contract. So if he is released at some point this summer, the 49ers have a clear run rate that can save about $20 million on the cap. There will be interest at that point, certainly. Maybe they can salvage a trade. Probably not, is my feeling right now.
So two different cases there. One, A.J. Brown, everybody recognizes he's going to get traded. A.J. Brown will be traded,
so.
And most
like
people think,
door.
barring a huge surprise, it's going to be the Patriots. The holdup right now, based on that reporting and others, is that the Patriots maybe suddenly don't want to give up a first-round pick for this year's draft. Would they be willing to give up a 2028 first-round pick? And are the Eagles okay with that? Because a 2028 first-round pick has less value than a 2027 first-round pick. Just the nature of being further out, and people believe this is a pretty good draft coming up in 2027. So if that's the holdup, could we see ultimately A.J. Brown gets traded and it's a 2028 first plus another pick going back to Philadelphia? But I think he's going to be a Patriot, though.
What happened there, I guess? Because that was a home run trade for the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like they're overpaying him based off of necessarily market value, and they're a team that is in a championship window. That is the part that always confused me. And look, Howie Roseman's done a good job. He runs a good organization. So the same way we talk about Veach sometimes is I can't question every move they make. They're good at making moves. So I don't want to come in here and pretend like he has no idea what's going on. But like on paper, you're in a championship window. You made a great trade. It didn't, you're not in too deep with this. He's just a bad teammate. And if you're the Patriots, is it just, for the next 3 years, we'll try to capitalize on our championship window, and then we can run him out of town if he's a pain in the ass too. All wide receivers are a pain, so we'll just figure it out down the road. It's interesting.
I think the relationship just got fractured also between him and Jalen Hurts. You heard Jalen Hurts last week talking about
that got awkward.
It just sounded like
answer something borderline about it.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounded like two people that their relationship was over and they didn't have any interest really in being together anymore. I mean, and the quarterback wins out most of the time in these circumstances, and
always
so
should.
And so A.J. Brown, I still think there's a lot left in the tank for him. I think if he ends up on the Patriots, I think he's going to have a great year with Drake May and company. It'd be a huge trade for the Patriots to pull off. It seemed too obvious from the beginning that that's where he's going to land. So I guess my only question is this a trade that's going to happen right after 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock our time? Or are we going to have to wait a week because they're trying to iron out the details? On the Chiefs end, that's where Brandon Ayuk, that's why it's in the Chiefs right half hour. You heard there from Jeremy Fowler. Brandon Ayuk, it is a mess. They are not going to be able to trade him.
Who?
So
look, I'd bring him in and take a risk, even though he's a toxic player who's got a million question marks. But if he'll just take a league minimum deal, I'll drag almost anyone through the building. But trade for him?
No.
Not even a seventh. I wouldn't give you a single thing in trade for that contract.
I don't think anybody is going to. But if you told me that fast forward a month from now he's available on the streets, then I think the Chiefs should kick the tires on that, given their wide receiver room right now, given the uncertainty with Rashee Rice.
They need more trouble to wide receiver room,
unless I know, unless they need. Unless they feel that Tyreek Hill is their solution. But for a reminder, Brandon Ayuk is 28 years old. Last year, though, he only played, or 2 years ago, I'm sorry, was the last time he played. You know, so this is a guy that
tore his ACL, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. He hasn't played since he tore his ACL.
2024. He played in 7 games that year. Prior to that, he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. The reason why the Niners been waiting is at post June 1, they're going to take less of a cap hit. That's the reason why. You're like, why wouldn't they release him earlier? Well, it's the June 1 stuff.
They can save $20 million if they wait till 3 o'clock. You'd wait till 3 o'clock too.
Exactly. He's scheduled to have a $13.6 million cap hit that potentially has a $21 million cap hit after this season.
The truth is, I think and this is the thing, we can go back to A.J. Brown here in a minute too. With Ayuk, I think the ceiling this year is like 700 yards. But that's exactly what the Chiefs could use. 500, 600, 700-yard wide receiver who can go over the middle and catch an 8-yard in-cut. That's kind of the vibe of the player they need. Now, look, there's some upper end potential down the road where maybe there's still he's a 1,300-yard wide receiver, because that's the interesting thing about A.J. Brown. I think I can make a case that A.J. Brown is on the regression train, as in he's a good wide receiver, but not one of the 5 or 10 best in the league anymore. He had his 1,300, 1,400-yard season 2 years in a row. Then he's had 1,000 yards the previous 2 years. And before that, he wasn't a 1,400-yard receiver. That was a two-year blip.
15th best receiver in football, 20th, 15th?
Yeah. I'm not going to claim he's 50th. I've made that mistake before with different wide receivers.
15th. Yeah, 15th.
No, I'm saying I'm not going to take it to the extreme. But I think it's pretty clear he's not one of the 5 or 10 best. He's not one of the elite guys where I would put in and trade almost anything for. He's not in the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase category.
So do you agree if the Patriots give up a first-round pick for him?
They have to. They got a quarterback on a rookie deal. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows how the math works on this. The NFL's proven it time in, time out. You got a rookie quarterback on a quarterback on a rookie deal. Try with all of your might to sneak into a Super Bowl if you can. So it might not work, but you got to try.
He turns 30 at the end of this month. A.J. Brown does. So he'll be 30. He's got a $23 million cap hit this year. If he just stunk, they could get out of it next year and have, that's too big of a cap hit, $35 million. So
he's going to be there.
So he's going to be there for, let's see, what's the lowest out that they can get? He's going to be there through his age 32 season. So he's there 26, 27, 28, 29. But I think you said it. You were just in a Super Bowl.
They got no choice.
You were just in a Super Bowl. Your quarterback's not making any money. You're in win now mode. You got a chance right now. You go and do it. I think A.J. Brown has at least 2 more years of being a 1,000-plus yard receiver in this league. I get why they would do it. I also get why they want to try to make it a 2028 first-round pick and not a 2027 first-rounder.
No, that makes sense to me. A lot of it is just if you go into a season in which you have no wide receivers for your team, and then you say, oh, but you know what we'll do now? Bring in no more. And you're just in the Super Bowl. You got to try. You have to make a good faith effort to try to win a Super Bowl with Drake May. And so, is it an overpay for a first? Yes, it is. I would say a 2027 second or a 2028 first is a number that at least you can swallow. And some are like, hey, man, they didn't throw it all in Philly. He had 1,400 yards one of those years in Philly.
Yeah, but they changed OCs 3 times. Yeah. And Jalen Hurts and their new OC last year. I just want to point out
that they did throw...
I think A.J. Brown in New England will have 1,200-plus yards this year.
I think he'll have 1,000. Exactly where he is, 1,050.
Yes,
I think he just kind of is that for... In the 6 years he's played in the NFL, 4 of them he's been 1,000 yard, or 7 years. 4 or 5 of them he's been 1,000-yard guy, and 2 of them he's been 1,400. So I'm betting more probably on history than the other. Now, he's with the Titans team who couldn't throw the ball.
You say he might have his best quarterback throwing the ball.
Might. But Jalen Hurts, it's I don't want to completely ding him or jump Drake. You and I would both take Drake May instead of Jalen Hurts right now. But it would be unfair to say that they're not in competition for who's the better quarterback right now, knowing that Hurts has been in 2 Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl, had the kind of success that he has. I'll also point out that New England didn't exactly throw the ball that much either. They were only 2 spots ahead of the Eagles at 53.1%. The Eagles threw at 52%. So they're not exactly, let's not try to make the Patriots out to be like they're Cincinnati, who was second highest, or Arizona, who's the now bad teams tend to be the highest because they can't help it. Hell, Pittsburgh was 7th in the NFL in throwing this year. And so I don't want to make it seem like those teams, or Denver, right? They had a young quarterback. They threw it the 9th most. Patriots are 25th. Do I think Vrabel's all of a sudden going to not run the ball? No, Vrabel's going to run it.
No, they have a 1-2 punch with Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson.
So someone says, why don't they just bring back Diggs? Same reason they don't want A.J. Brown's a different problem. Diggs they didn't like and didn't get along with, but he's the problem they've already seen. And honestly, I don't know why it works out this way.
Also, A.J. Brown's better than Stephon Diggs.
He is.
I mean,
but I don't know if it's
4 years younger than him.
I don't know if
Stephon Diggs is 32 years old.
I don't know how it works genetically or personality-wise or whatever, but we all know how this works with wide receivers. Wide receivers who become personality problems inside the team are good for 2 years with whatever new team they end up with. Like Antonio Brown kept his head down for 2 years in Tampa Bay before he ran himself out.
Yeah, like James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden. Everybody can keep themselves on the up and up for a couple of years, it seems like. That's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Versus the other side of it. I don't know why it works that way with wide receivers. Whoever gets Rashee Rice next year, look at 2 years of him not being a knucklehead. And then after that, he'll start.
Someone said they traded Rashee Rice for Ayuk in a third.
Are you giving up the third?
No. You're getting a third.
But I got to pay him?
There's no way that San Francisco's doing that.
Why would the Niners accept that?
Yeah, there's no way that.
Why would the Niners? I would do that on the Chiefs. Yeah.
I don't think I would. I get Ayuk and a third-round pick, and they get Rice right now. I don't feel like I'm covering enough of my offense this year.
I'm talking about long term.
I would be worried about the Ayuk part. Is
I don't love it.
At least
for Brandon
Rice.
Ayuk is you get Ayuk and the third-round pick.
That's what he said.
Yes.
For Rice, I'd be very interested in that. The Niners are not accepting that.
No way. Actually, you know what?
Rice is actively in trouble. That's the problem.
I don't know if I'd give up.
He's actively in jail.
And the Niners would be trading for a rental.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he is. Unless they tag him,
In
he'd
fairness,
be trading
at least
for a rental.
Rashee Rice would be on the field in some capacity.
This year,
because Brandon Ayuk, that man hasn't been on the field because he was injured. 2, he's not responding. He's not showing up to the building, which is why.
And the question is that a Niners thing or is he just done with football? And that's what you got to figure out. That's why, again, nobody's trading for Brandon Ayuk anyway. This was just a hypothetical.
Brandon Ayuk would be a bigger risk than A.J. Brown for that reason.
Oh, than A.J. Brown?
Yes.
The issue with Rice is more like, do you think he's making another mistake and he's not under contract?
Right.
That's the only entry. But with Brandon Ayuk, you don't know if this dude just got his money and is like, yeah, I'm good. I don't really care anymore. I'm good. Like, career earning $60 million, and now he's just like, well, I got hurt. I got my money. Like, okay. Do I love football anymore?
Weren't some people thinking Rice might get out early? He hasn't got out early yet, right? His release date would be
out of jail early?
June 18th.
You're supposed to be keeping track of this.
June
How many
18th.
more days?
17
then?
17 more days.
McCole
Rice
Hardman
is a free man.
Somebody was saying
McCole Hardman days away until Rashee Rice is a free man.
Yes, people were saying that 2 weeks he'd get out early. I don't know. It's been almost 2 weeks.
He's got a couple more days. Maybe he can get early release. He's almost Patrick Mahomes days away. We're getting close.
Last week when Andy was talking about Rice,
he's over it.
He was talking about Rick Burkholder's in touch and all that. Like just the mental image of Rashee Rice using whatever period of time that he has to call somebody, and I don't know what the rules are for that he's calling up Rick Burkholder to check in. Like the idea that's where the time is being
he's
allotted.
Waiting in line for the phone.
I don't know how that works. I have no idea. I've never been in that situation. I don't know what he's allowed to have or not have in his cell and what kind of time you're allowed to spend on the phone. It may be way longer than we think. We're all stuck in the movie mindset where you get like 5 minutes or something. I'm guessing you get way more than that, but it's just the fact that that's what he's doing is crazy.
Yes, it's insane. But 17 more days, Drew. June 18th. This is just as long as, I guess, good, I imagine he's got to, not get in any kind of trouble while he's in jail.
He's not going to get in trouble in jail.
That'd be crazy.
Not gonna get in trouble
That's going to get you cut.
He's not getting in trouble in jail.
I don't think so.
The NBA Finals might be done by the time he's actually out.
He's going to miss the whole finals? They start on Wednesday, right?
Game 7, I think, is June 19th.
Damn.
So that doesn't even, it does.
Is that your first question to him? So what did you think of the finals? Did you get a chance to watch? They have TV in there. I'm sure he actually can watch.
I bet they get to watch the finals.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Late, though. I don't know what time of... I don't know what lights out is.
I don't know either.
10 probably, 10:30.
I don't know. This is where we end up getting a ton of texts from people experienced in this.
We need a prison insider.
Yeah, who wants to be our prison insider or jail insider?
Jail insider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, preferably if you've been to jail in Dallas before.
Yeah, yeah. In that particular jail would be extremely helpful. Honestly,
well, there's somebody out there that has.
But anybody who's just used to jail, that would be helpful in general. You should is the insider for this. Let's talk a little bit about the Chiefs. You'd mentioned last week we talked about the offense. We were talking about what things have to happen for it to be a top 5. And we'd mentioned Rashee Rice or Worthy, Some of these guys need to step up. But because of Kenneth Walker and some other stuff, maybe the path's not as difficult. I will say it's about the same path on defense. It is going to be work on both sides of the football to be top 5 again. The Chiefs have been a top 5 defense essentially the last 3 years in a row. They were 2nd, 3rd, and 6th the last 3 years, including 5th last year in points per game. Despite the issues on 3rd down, despite the issues on 4th down at times. They were good in the red zone, but they are replacing a all-pro corner, a good safety. I mean, to the tune of a couple $100 million worth of contracts. They're making it difficult. I think it really boils down to like 3 things for me. One is an improved pass rush. That's obvious. And I don't mean massively improved. I mean, can I see a 7 to 10% jump in sack production, pressure production? I don't need you to be night and day different, just better to cover from the young secondary. But I also think Mansour Delane's got to be a good player, and he's got to be a good player right away, like a really good player right away. And I think the linebackers have got to be at least as good as they were 2 years ago. Otherwise, they're going to be like, I don't know, the 10th best. I don't think they're going to be any worse than 10th or 12th.
Well, they put all these resources.
Spags.
They put all these resources in there, and you do trust Dave Merritt, Steve Spagnuolo, and the coaching staff on the defensive side of the ball. My biggest question and what would hold them up from being that is the pass rush, right? It's that does Tonga being on the inside and Peter Woods being on the inside, does that allow Chris Jones to roam a little more free, and therefore Chris Jones not return to 15 sacks, return to a double-digit sack guy, 10, 11 sack guy.
Just right at the fringe.
And if that happens, that's a huge boost for them. That George Karlaftis is either right around where he's been or maybe there's a 1 sack increase. But more importantly, who's on the other side? Right now, we think it's some sort of rotation. We don't know exactly. Is it R. Mason Thomas and Gelati and Omar Norman Lott, for example? Or do they go and sign a veteran? Maybe they need to sign a veteran. They'll get their answer during training camp, is my guess, if they feel like they need that. But can they get, and I think you looked this up earlier, the year, was it 2023, when they were able to be that top defense and the sack numbers were up. It's not like Chris Jones had 15 sacks that year. We looked this up. He had what? 10 and a half sacks?
10.5 for both of them.
But George Karlaftis was double-digit sack.
Amenahue had 7.
Amenahue had 7. So
Dana had 6.5.
So is Gelati capable of bumping up to 6 sacks? Could they get 4 from Omar Norman Lott? Could R. Mason Thomas get him 2? Can they get enough from those, I'll call them secondary pass rushers, to where you're not asking George or Chris to get 12 plus, they get your 9 to 10, but the other guys are not having 1.5 sacks, they're having 4.5 sacks.
If they can't get 5 sacks from one of those 4, Omar Norman Lott, Gelati, R. Mason Thomas, or Peter Woods, well, then they should be looking at their draft and development issue. I'm sorry, between one of those 4, you've spent a first-round pick, 2 seconds, and a third. 5 sacks is not asking the world.
No, somebody from that bunch eventually needs to be a 7+ sack guy.
Yeah, but somebody needs to be 5 sacks this year. It's not like we're not asking the world here. You're going to get snaps. You're available to play. You know what? I'll even give you Felix if you want like a 5th guy.
No.
I know it's not going to be him.
He may not even make the team.
I'm just giving them a bonus guy to try to get the 5 sacks out.
I don't really want him getting snaps over any of the guys we just mentioned.
No.
I'm done.
If he makes the team, he is the last guy, like maybe healthy scratch. He doesn't make the 51 people who wear a jersey on game day kind of player. But so genuinely, it's like one of those 4 has to have 5 sacks. But that feels like we talk about all the times, like, what would it take? What are the asks? How big are they? Are they within reason, or are they asking something extraordinary to take place? That feels like a relatively low hurdle to clear, in my opinion. One guy, you spent a first, 2 seconds, and a third over the last 2 years on defensive linemen, getting one guy to 5 sacks. You got Mike Dana to 5 sacks. You got Turk Wharton to 3 or 4 while he was here. He was an undrafted guy. It's not asking the world. Maybe it's hard for Peter Woods to get their gold because he's an interior defensive lineman.
Yeah, you're not looking for that. That's not a guy that's going to ever have a big sack total for
Same
you.
With Norman Lott.
I don't know. What's tricky with him is where do they actually have him playing in 2026? That'd be the only question with Norman Lott, I think.
But sometimes interior guys can get 4 or 5. That's, again, 5 is a number that is not crazy for anybody, I guess.
I mean,
no matter what you play in the
I think you even looked it up, Cody. I think you're saying a rookie to get 4 sacks is good production. So I don't think you're.
Yeah.
I think if we're talking based on the numbers that you looked up, we're not looking at R. Mason Thomas or Peter Woods to do that. We're looking at Ashton Gelati to do that. It's not even Omar Norman Lott. Omar Norman Lott, most sacks he had in college was 5.5. Yeah, and he was an interior guy. So I think Ashton Gelati is the guy.
There were
that
only 6 guys who had 4 or more
have.
last year. Rookie.
Yeah, and Tonga has a half sack in his entire career. I mean, he's not the sack. He's not, and I don't think Peter Woods is going to be either. So
I think Omar Norman Lott might play on the outside sometimes, or Chris Jones is. Somebody's playing outside of the big boys more than we think.
I think part of the plan, we'll see at camp, but I think part of the plan is that you're going to be much better on the interior with Tonga, that it's going to allow Chris Jones to hopefully be on the outside a little bit more. That's my thought, at least. We'll see.
My guess is that they'll rotate. Maybe Norman or Chris Jones will both get an outside snap, because I don't think right now, unless they sign a veteran like we've asked them to do, that's a lot of outside snaps for Gelati. A lot of outside snaps for R. Mason Thomas. But R. Mason Thomas was a mid-second round pick. It's not like, he's picking like 40th. He's not, that's borderline George Karlaftis territory. He should have some production.
Yeah. Until Cam Jordan is signed by another team, I'm still going to continue to bring up his name. Until he is no longer available, the same way until Calais Campbell signed with the Ravens, now we don't bring up his name anymore. But until Cam Jordan signs anywhere, I'm going to say he might still be part of the problem, or part of the solution to fix the problem, I should say, when it comes to pass rush in 2026. All right, up next, let's get to what's trending and then back into the Royals. And I think a question that none of us expected to ask this year, but I think it's a real possibility now around this team that sits 15 under 500. We'll get to that next.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, folks. Bob, Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, I know we've got employee pricing going on right now for everyone, but what's the difference in pricing?
Great question. 2026 Escape starting at $26,000.
That's thousands of dollars off.
2026 Expeditions?
Oh, I know this is going to be good.
How about up to $10,000 off MSRP? And Lightning up to $18,000 off. Plus, you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now, because this ends soon.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Hi, I'm Amanda, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of bridal design, I travel the world for inspiration so that your engagement ring stands out from the rest. My team of in-house designers and I work alongside skilled artisans to curate the most beautiful collection of exclusive engagement rings. At Shane Company, you'll find the ring that's a reflection of your unique style. No cookie-cutter designs here. See our selection in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Power your drive with Mobil 1 motor oil. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Kansas City Auto Show is back, taking over the Overland Park Convention Center with more brands, more test drives, free parking, and all new family-friendly features. Get your tickets now at kcautoshow.com. The Kansas City Auto Show, June 4th through 7th.
Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
#1 on what's trending, well, it's the Kansas City Royals that were swept by the Rangers. They've lost 6 in a row already for the third time, and it's June 1st.
16 of their last 19 as well.
They are 15 under 500. They're now in Cincinnati. They begin a series against the Reds. 6:10 first pitch here at 96.5 The Fan. Vern Zondek at 5, 22-37 record. They'll go up against Chase Burns, who's been awesome for Cincinnati, 7-1 with a 1.96 ERA. It's a bullpen game kind of again today. Luinder Avila gets the nod for the Royals.
Next up on what's trending, the NBA Finals are set. Spurs took down the Thunder in Game 7 on Saturday night. Knicks and Spurs will start on Wednesday in that series. We'll see who comes out ahead. Wemby had an awesome series. SGA tried to do a lot in Game 7, came up short. Holmgren was really bad in that game. But Spurs Knicks certainly feels like a unique, I would say, finals matchup.
It's fresh. It's new.
And I thought the Thunder seemed so obvious to go back to back that was definitely going to happen. Now I will say they still got all the ammunition in the world to bring in different players to solve their problem to get past the Spurs. They're still positioned better than most teams in the NBA. Spurs got them. Wemby was awesome, and they'll take on the Knicks starting on Wednesday.
Elsewhere on what's trending, KU baseball has advanced to their first ever Super Regional. They won all their games in Lawrence over the weekend. First Northeastern, then they beat Arkansas twice, including yesterday to clinch it. They were down 5-0 early on, and they would score 6 straight runs on 6 hits. And a couple innings later, they get the victory. Now they get to sit back and wait to find out if they're going to Georgia or they're hosting Oklahoma. There is a scenario where the Jayhawks could host a super regional, but it would require an upset today. Oklahoma is taking on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, one of the top teams in the country, would host Kansas if they win. So we'll find out later on. I believe that game starts at 2 o'clock, I think, our time.
Yeah.
But huge accomplishment already for Kansas to win a regional at home. It was a great atmosphere out there. I know we'll talk more about it later on this hour, but we'll see what happens. They could be hosting this weekend.
Some great local baseball. Did you see JCCC won the JUCO World Series too?
Yeah, absolutely.
So congrats to them as well.
A lot of guys on that team are going to be playing in the Big 12, maybe even at Kansas and K-State, and some schools in the SEC as well, as there, I believe, multiple D1 offers now after the season that Johnson County
record-breaking season, really, for them. Very much so. Next up on What's Trending, big news in the tennis world. Serena Williams, after nearly 4 years since her last match, is officially making her comeback to professional tennis. Williams announced on Monday that she accepted a wild card invitation to play in the doubles next week in the HSBC Championships, a 500-level event at the Queen's Club. The thought is that she's doing this as a warm-up to play at Wimbledon. So Serena Williams, who's taken nearly 4 years off from the sport. I know Drew's excited. We were just talking about Serena Williams not that long ago.
Yeah.
Or the sport is coming back to
I wonder
tennis.
if she's going to do...
At least playing a couple matches.
I wonder if she's playing with Venus again.
Maybe.
It is doubles, so...
So she's playing doubles in the HSBC, and then we'll play it hypothetically Wimbledon. We'll see.
Next on What's Trending, the Giants reportedly have signed veteran wide receiver and former New York Giant Odell Beckham Jr. Yes, this is not 2002. It's 2026. But Odell Beckham Jr. at 33 years old has signed a one-year deal with the Giants. They've had multiple wide receivers go down with ACL injuries. He also re-ups with John Harbaugh, who, of course, is now the head coach there. They also had former Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster in for a visit. I don't know if this now means that he's not going to get signed and they chose Beckham or whatever, but that's the latest out in New York with some of the wide receiver signings. Today is also June 1st. Post-June 1 transactions
today, right?
could happen starting after 3 o'clock, our time, I believe it is. That's when we could see A.J. Brown get traded. Also, what's the future hold for somebody like Brandon Ayuk?
Next up on What's Trending, all signs point to Caleb Williams being the next cover athlete for Madden 27. There was some rumors that maybe Kenneth Walker was in the mix, seeing how he was the Super Bowl MVP from the previous year. Maybe the change of teams hurt it a little bit, but the announcement expected to come on Thursday in Chicago. Put two and two things together, certainly feels like Caleb Williams is likely the next Madden cover athlete.
There were some leaks of what could be the cover on Saturday. One had Caleb Williams. Did you see the cover leak for NCAA football? Again, it's a leak. We don't know if it's confirmed. It had Kurt Cignetti on the cover with a bunch of other collegiate athletes. So we'll see. That might also be true, but it definitely feels like Caleb Williams is the Madden cover athlete. Lastly, on What's Trending, don't forget, Cody Gold Garage Sale coming up a week from Wednesday. Wednesday, June 10th, Cody Gold Garage Sale. All proceeds benefit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. We hope tomorrow to have the website available for you guys to start looking at the items and experiences. We've got over 80 of them already up, so keep an eye out for that on the Fan 965's website. And don't forget, the garage sale is presented by RE/MAX. When trust matters, choose RE/MAX. Voted most trusted real estate agents by buyers and sellers.
I forgot to mention in What's Trending, important news yesterday. As of last night, I'm officially a great uncle.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah, great
there
uncle.
You go.
So my nephew's and his wife's kid was born last night. Has
Congrats
the middle name
to them.
Bancroft like me.
Of course.
Somebody already told me that they think because I'm a great uncle now, I have to just go by Bancroft. Could you be Bancroft and Gold the rest of the way?
I mean, it's definitely next movie, buddy cop movie or something.
Bancroft
Yeah.
and Gold definitely sounds like two cops.
Yeah.
Way more than Cody and Gold.
Bancroft and Gold.
And I'm the old timer cop who just wants to retire. And you're new on the force. I'm just like, I can't take this anymore.
You know,
Bancroft and Gold does sound like a terrible duo.
Bancroft and Gold sounds like a terrible comedy that Netflix decided to produce randomly for one season, and it's done after one. We maybe get through the pilot episode, that's it. Yeah.
It does feel buddy cop-ish. I can't deny that.
Bancroft and Gold. Well, congrats to
Chandler's
and Chandler.
Alyssa, yeah.
Okay. Congrats to them on that. I was going to bring up anyway, and then we'll move on to the Royals. We're just trying to stall as much as possible before we talk
Really
about
just trying to
this
avoid
terrible
fucking
baseball
Royals.
team. Someone said, Cody, this might be weird, but were you at
La
Fuente Saturday night? Saw a guy that looked like him. Now, I'm going to answer for you for a half second. I will be shocked if he says yes here, okay? Shocked.
Yes.
Yo, okay.
I was.
What were you doing there?
I was. So my daughter's dance recital was on Saturday night.
I thought there was no chance.
And after the dance recital, everyone went to go eat. And that's
Never
where
been there before.
And that's where the dance studio went.
Okay.
So I was at La Fuente on Saturday night, of all things. I was with a very large group.
This person, they should have gone up and said hello
Which
to you.
location were you at?
Liberty.
Okay, I was saying they got a bunch, don't they?
Yeah, Liberty. Up by because the dance, the recital itself was in the Northland, and then they all went out to eat after. Honest to God, it gives me so much stress because the dance studio is rather large, and this wasn't a planned dinner. Everybody decided to go after, and it was probably 30 of us, and we did not have a reservation. We walked in with that size party. And I just the thought of doing it, Drew, made me want to oh no.
Yeah, it is a lot of people to show up.
But what am I going to do? I'm going to call them and try to solve it now. I didn't know till 10 minutes before. So part of me thought about skipping just because I didn't want to walk in. It's I can't be a part of a walk-in. They said us almost immediately. It was crazy.
Wait, so hold on. So you found out that they wanted to go to La Fuente. You almost went out of your way to call ahead of time and warn them that you guys were coming.
Or drive
even though
ahead.
It wasn't your idea.
Yeah, but I didn't. If anybody's worked in restaurants, the idea of a 30-top walk-in.
No,
Drew. I mean, there were 30 of us, including 15 kids probably.
I get it. It would just be interesting. The person who was who had pitched the idea, they walk in, you were behind them and say, "Oh yeah, I heard you guys were coming," and they would have been like, "What?" And be like, "Yeah, so somebody call it ahead of time." I don't know. It would just been interesting.
Why not? I mean, why not call it? If they got the seats, then at least they can get the tables ready. It's just crazy. And it also depends on the restaurant. Some can handle it better, like when you just pop in with a large
This
party.
person from the 816 said they're 59. They're not even 60, and they have 14 grandkids and 4 great-grandkids.
That's crazy.
Under 60?
Under 60. You guys all started young. The fact that at 41 to say I'm a great uncle, that's silly.
Yeah.
That feels silly. That makes me
wild.
sound ancient. Oh, great Uncle Cody. Like what? Oh, no. That's why somebody says Cody doesn't sound right. Great Uncle Bancroft?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That ring is correct.
Our text line must have been down for a little bit. It's all getting caught up now. We're just now getting texts about people talking about jail insiders. We were discussing that during the Chiefs Red Half Hour 20 minutes ago, but the texts are just now coming in. So that's why we didn't acknowledge those texts. If you notice, we just got 30 new texts on in the last half second. The text line.
Was the text line frozen?
It must have
for a
been
minute?
frozen. It's back up and running. 913-586-7965.
Somebody said from the 816, we need them on the Royals, please. Sign all of them.
Man.
All 30 kids.
Let's talk about the Royals, shall we, though? My goodness. Look,
It's gotten pretty dark, man.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a question we'd be asking in 2026. This is for sure. A year in which they're expected to compete for the AL Central. A year in, look, maybe you weren't super optimistic on them winning the division, but you didn't think that we were going to ask the question on June 1st, which I think is a real one now, and that is this team going to lose 100 games? They're 22-37. It is more than realistic that they can lose 100 games. That's the pace they're on. They have 3 separate 6-game losing streaks, and it's only June 1? You know how hard that is to do?
The answer is maybe. Maybe they're going to lose 100 games. I would still bet no, but for June 1st, for this to be a conversation speaks to the level of failure. What I had said at the beginning of the show is really and this is for every second that goes by, I just keep thinking, do anything. Normally you just do the painstaking meme. It's just the guy poking a body with a stick, do something. But it's actively making me angry. And I you and I are relatively level-headed. We'll take our time we don't need to make rash decisions. 2 weeks into the season, they were ready to fire everyone. And then on some random Tuesday, they were playing for first place in the division against the Guardians. And I'm like, you know what? Easy, see? This is why you got to take your time. And since that moment, they've lost 16 of 19 games, or in, second to last, third to last in the American League. They're a couple games off of having the worst record in baseball. Things have fallen apart. That's the one part you can't deny anymore. Things have completely fallen apart. They're not unraveling or things are going bad. They've fallen apart. And how the hell do you even put things back together? I don't know. There is no easy solution to that anymore. So you should do something. Trade for someone, trade someone away, cut someone, fire someone, do something.
Yeah, we're stuck with no change or solution in sight. It also gets more challenging every day because now Michael Garcia's got a hamstring injury. We don't know if he's going to land on the IL. Yeah, Matt Strahm is back, but Lucas Erceg has turned into a disaster as a closer in the last week or so. I don't know what's really happened with him. And so you always wonder, what's the next thing to make it get worse, and they find new ways every week. Every weekend, I feel like we come in on a Monday and something got even worse over the weekend with this ball club. And I think the part that I think we're at now is, look, it's clear that based on comments on this show and with other outlets, JJ Picollo, they are not making any changes from a personnel standpoint anytime soon. Maybe at some point, but not anytime soon. So, okay.
Why? Because it's admitting you're wrong? Because, I mean, something has to change.
Yeah, no, I'm with I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy to be status quo. I also think we've reached the point where fans deserve to hear from the owner of the team. Look, I don't agree with those that say John Sherman doesn't care about winning. I still firmly disagree with those that say that. However, the optics are really bad, Cody. The optics are really bad when
it makes you
have your stadium announcement back at the end of April, and that's moving forward finally, and you're going downtown. Great. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's go. Here we go. Fast forward, it's June 1. Your team is not just underachieving, they stink out loud. Yeah. And your fans are about ready to stop showing up and about to be apathetic. We're not, we weren't there a couple weeks ago, but they're about to get to that point where fans are just going to say, why am I going to let this team piss me off every weekend? And so I think not that leads to wins happening right away, but I think it wouldn't be a bad decision for John Sherman to do an interview sometime soon or speak to the media sometime soon and explain how he's also pissed off, how he's also frustrated.
Massively disappointed.
And understands that fans are disappointed, understands that we are not meeting your expectation. You're not meeting my expectation. Like, that doesn't solve anything, but I think fans would like to hear from the owner because the optics are bad. The last time John Sherman spoke was about his new stadium with, millions of dollars in public money. We haven't heard him speak about how this team is not meeting his expectation either.
And what's funny is, it would be as simple as that because you and I both agree. I do think winning genuinely matters to John Sherman. I do. And I think it genuinely matters to Bobby and Vinny and some of these other guys. And they're not avoiding talking. So it's not like, if I want to go talk to Vinny about the state of the team, he'll talk. If I want to go talk to Bobby with the state of the team, he'll talk. People aren't talking to them maybe as much because there aren't as many people covering the team because they're not playing well. But if those guys are available, but John Sherman should just, even if it's as simple as, this is unacceptable. Even if he didn't do anything, but he said it.
It's a step. My goodness.
Saying it at least says something.
And who knows? Maybe he's waiting to make that comment because at some point there is going to be a change and he's going to wait to make that then. But the way, again, publicly at least, the way JJ Picollo is speaking, it does not lead you to think that a change is happening soon. And it's not as if a move directly leads to a million more wins, and that's their thought. But this offense hasn't just been this bad for 3 months. This offense has been this bad for 16 months or whatever, right? Or, whatever the math comes out to be on that. This is not an offense that was top 10 last year and who could have seen this coming? Let's give them a pass. Yes, the players have to perform, but they're not DFAing Salvador Perez or Vinny Pasquantino or optioning Vinny Pasquantino or anything like that. So somebody at some point you have to send a message that it's not acceptable. And I don't know, the guy that's been leading your hitting department, that an offense has been below average and bottom 5 in baseball for multiple years, maybe that guy shouldn't still have a job.
They're 29th. They're 29th in runs scored. And I guess some of this goes back, and they were 26th last year. And as you remember, they were like, but look at June 1st on last year. They hit us with that one. They're 29th. And on aggregate last year, they were 26th. They can't score. And they can't score while having a future MVP, maybe a future. Bobby Witt Jr. might very well be a future Hall of Famer. And Salvi might be a future Hall of Famer. You got a lot of other good baseball players. You should not be this bad. I think that's what part of it is, Gold, is that I was, you go back through and you start racking your brains of really bad teams. And I let me be very clear. I am accustomed to bad baseball. Borderline sometimes doesn't even bother me. I'm so used to it in Kansas City. But not when the team had expectations. And that's what has made this season so annoying. If this were the 2019, the 2006 Royals, I'd have just stopped talking about them. It's fine. I'd have just moved on. Hell, I was the Royals insider in 2019. This was the lineup. Martin Maldonado, Ryan O'Hearn, Whit Merrifield, Mondesi. Jorge Soler had some homers that year, so that was nice. He had 48 of them. It's the only thing. But Hunter Dozier was hitting third or fourth. Okay. Well then, I get it. They stink. And more importantly than even the lineup, that wasn't even the worst part of their team. The worst part of their team was probably their starting rotation that year, in which Jacob Junis could have been argued to be their ace, or Homer Bailey, or Mike Montgomery. So I'm used to losing baseball when it's expected. They have the second most. I was wrong earlier. Second most quality starts in all of baseball. future Hall of Famer, and a lot of other good players. They shouldn't be this bad. They are this bad. I'm not denying what they are. They are what they are. But being this bad makes, like, if I were a team, I'd be like, what the hell how did we screw it up this bad? How are we this bad? Did it's changed my expectation? It's starting to change my expectation for next year.
Well, of course it does.
And I didn't want it to turn into that. I thought if maybe they played 5 games below 500, I could be like, well, bad year. I might be able to just mentally lie to myself.
They're another loss or two away from having the worst record in all in baseball.
Yeah.
Disastrous 2026 season.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very weird, and it makes no sense. It really doesn't. Big deal. Adam Schefter, massive news in the NFL.
All right, here we go.
The Browns are finalizing a trade that will send 2-time Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams.
We spoke about this earlier this morning.
In exchange for Garrett, the Rams are expected to send Pro Bowl edge Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, and another draft pick compensation still being negotiated to the Browns. This is a huge trade.
You don't see this
in
kind
the
of
NFL.
trade happen.
That's a massive deal. A star young defensive lineman or a burgeoning, maybe a verging star, and Jared Verse is heading to the Browns. Myles Garrett is heading to the Rams in exchange for him and a first-round pick.
Let's go.
Huge deal.
And other draft pick compensations still being
NFL.
negotiated. My guess is this will become official after 3 o'clock or so.
There were rumors about this about an hour ago that populated.
Why they kept it quiet for a while. I mean, this is
Damn, how are the Rams not
Eagles, Rams, and Cowboys?
Yeah. This is shocking because in the NFL, we don't see star player for potential star player type of trades. This is like NBA type stuff. We just do not see this. So
Myles Garrett might be the greatest of all time. Get him out of that division.
He agreed to sign there. He didn't have to stay in Cleveland. That was his own choosing.
It ends up better for Myles Garrett, though. Now he ends up in a great spot.
The Rams are Super Bowl favorites, and now like heavy Super Bowl favorites to add Myles Garrett to that defensive line, a defense that went out and traded for Trent McDuffie, an offense that has a reigning MVP, an offense, if Puka can get his head on right, has one of the best receivers in football, a decent backfield.
So all the way
Sean McVay. I mean, they are all in as you could possibly be. Again, if you're
picks, man.
That's right. If you're just joining us, the Browns are finalizing a trade that will send 2-time Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett to the Rams.
He had 23 sacks last year, as a reminder.
Yes, get him out of the division. The rest of the AFC North should be throwing a parade. I don't care how good Jared Verse is.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
that's a net win.
A player like that out of your division is a good thing
parade.
for the AFC North. For the Browns, I actually think it's smart too, guys. If we're being real, I know how can it be like, how's it smart to trade away?
Get a young
Because
player.
you're not going anywhere. You don't have a
Verse is
quarterback. You don't have a quarterback. You have a younger player coming in. Plus, they're going to get some draft picks, including a 2027 first-round pick. And maybe that gets them. The Browns are going to have 2 first-round picks next year at least.
It'll
Go get your quarterback, because I don't think Deshaun Watson starting week 1 is your answer. So that's
Watson
a
or
huge
Gabriel
trade.
or
It's just shocking because we just do not get this in the NFL with a star player.
It's
like
the
that.
reigning Defensive Player of the Year. This is insane.
He might be the greatest edge rusher of all time.
His last 5 seasons in the NFL are 16 sacks, 14, 14, and 23. Dear God.
Yeah, dude.
And look, I'm happy he's in the
He might be the
NFC.
GOAT.
The
Yeah.
Chiefs don't play the Browns very often, but sure. Go be in the NFC. I'll deal with you come Super Bowl time if I have to. Now, I will say the Rams are in the Chiefs' schedule. And Myles Garrett, being a member of
Holy
that,
smokes.
doesn't exactly
December 13th, the Chiefs play out in LA.
make you feel good about the likelihood of that. Now, Verse is a good player. He his first 2 years in the league, he's been solid really solid. 4.5 sacks his rookie year, 7.5 last year. He's 25. He seems like the kind of guy he was defensive rookie of the year a couple years ago. He seems like the kind of guy who is going to progress and be a George Karlaftis maybe even, level pass rusher or slightly better. But that's what he is. He's just a really nice pass rusher. But if you're the Browns, you got to figure out a quarterback at some point. What the hell is the point of having Myles Garrett on your roster if you're going to win 4 games every year?
Well, that's why you.
He had 23 sacks. I don't blame him from trading. What's the point?
Finally made the trade. Remember, it was just an offseason ago where it looked like he was not going to agree to sign a deal, remember? And then he got the big contract extension. Everybody's like, oh, he just used it as a ploy. He was really never leaving. Well, he got the big contract, and now he's going to maybe have a chance to win his first ring, playing a playoff game for only, the second time in his NFL career?
Yeah, the one against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
2 games against the Chiefs.
2 games, yeah.
But 1 playoff run. This would be only the second time he's made the playoffs. I mean, they are, and this is not, they should be, rightfully so, the prohibitive favorite.
They are 6-1 right now at FanDuel, are the Rams.
What is their weakness?
Yeah, the Rams are 6-1 at FanDuel to win the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is in LA this year, too. Let's not forget that. Seattle, Buffalo are both 10-1, and then the Ravens are 11-1. Those are the odds right now to win the Super Bowl, but huge. I mean, that NFC West division, Seattle just won the Super Bowl. The Rams were right there in the NFC title game.
And then you got Arizona.
And they go and add Trent McDuffie and Myles Garrett this offseason. And you have a Niners team that is still injured and a kind of a mess. And a Cardinals team that is just rebuild mode like they have been for a while and has their quarterback Jacoby Brissett holding out. I mean, the Rams are going to win that division this year. I know Seattle is still going to factor in, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. But boy, oh boy, it would be shocking almost at this point if the Rams aren't in the NFC title game at bare minimum.
I mean, genuinely,
it's Super Bowl or bust. But still, like even just if we're being honest about the parity of the NFL, if they're not in the NFC title game, it's a massive failure.
Other than if Puka Nacua, like because he was in rehab or whatever, other than Puka Nacua somehow finds himself not being able to play football at any point this year, they have no weakness. Their weakness last year was the secondary. They traded for Trent McDuffie. They had a pretty good defense last year, and they went from a good, nice player in Jared Verse to the best defensive player in the league, probably. So, I mean, that's not insignificant.
That defense is going to be so nasty.
Here's some more details. Some more details from Adam Schefter at how this trade came together. Again, if you're just joining us, Myles Garrett getting traded to the LA Rams. The Rams' interest in Myles Garrett was sparked shortly after the Browns modified the contract of the 7-time Pro Bowl defensive end in March, pushing back the option bonuses from the 15th day of the league year in March to 7 days before the start of the regular season, making it easier to trade him. Now the trade is happening again, according to Adam Schefter. So Jared Verse and a first-round pick go back to Cleveland, plus some other draft compensation. We'll find out more on that. But the big headline, Myles Garrett going to the Rams. Up next, we'll continue to talk about this big news in the NFL. We'll also fill you in on the latest in Major League Baseball, including how the owners maybe feel about expansion. Next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Part of getting older is life, right? And you're tired of feeling exhausted and all this other stuff. I always point this out. Stop feeling like crap all the time and make sure that you take care of yourself. Do you know that 1 in 4 men over 40 have low testosterone? You're not like alone in this category. You can work towards bettering yourself over at the Low T Center, where they're offering a free testosterone test this month at fixmylowt.com. Look, you can't get back to feeling 100% unless you do something about it. Maybe you're tired or the workout, all that stuff that doesn't make you feel the same. Their expert providers can help tailor these TRT plans to personalize it to you. Help you get your energy, focus, or sex drive back, all of those things, so you can start feeling like yourself again. Look, it's summer. You might as well start working on yourself, and because they accept most major insurance providers, you can do the treatment the way you want to do it, with either in-person care or using the app and everything else in between. Don't take it from me. Head to fixmylowt.com and book your free testosterone test today. That's fixmylowt.com.
My home's my happy place, but I started to notice those fading colors and peeling paint. I needed a team that cared about the details as much as I do. The CertaPro painters exceeded my expectations. Their free estimate was incredibly detailed and easy to understand. They brought fresh color and quality craftsmanship to our home. Whether it's interior or exterior, protect your home with the best. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. To Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Hi, folks. Bob, Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, I know we've got employee pricing going on right now for everyone, but what's the difference in pricing?
Great question. 2026 Escape starting at $26,000.
That's thousands of dollars off.
2026 Expeditions?
Oh, I know this is going to be good.
How about up to $10,000 off MSRP and Lightning up to $18,000 off. Plus, you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to bluespringsford.com right now because this ends soon.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, they want to make sure that your business is inviting, that it's safe, and that, of course, your project is cost-effective, because they want to make sure that you're ready and that your business is ready before the world comes here. That's all possible over at Gann, who can handle any type of project your parking lot would need. That's because they're one contractor, all things parking lot. Check out their projects at GannAsphalt.com or give them a call at 816-688-3512.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. And neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on Cody and Gold, if you're just joining us, breaking news in the NFL. Myles Garrett now a member of the LA Rams.
Insane.
Adam Schefter reporting that the trade is still being finalized, but Myles Garrett will join the reigning MVP, Matthew Stafford. Jared Verse goes to Cleveland along with a 2027 first-round pick and other draft pick compensation that is still being negotiated with the Browns. So you would think that maybe it's a mid-round pick or a late pick or some other picks as well. But the Rams, even in the short period of time we've been talking about this news, Cody, the odds, they were 6-1 8 minutes ago to win the Super Bowl. They're now plus 550. The money continues to come in now on the Rams as they are significant favorites. And someone texted in and said, hey, super teams don't guarantee anything.
No.
Oh, for sure. It is not a 100% guarantee the Rams will win the Super Bowl.
I'd be stunned if they weren't in the at least NFC title game.
It is a massive failure if they're not in the NFC title game. And truly, it's Super Bowl or bust. I mean, they have to win a Super Bowl for this to have all made sense for them moving forward. But it could be the last year for Matthew Stafford. It also is a team that has shown with their general manager, they will trade away picks. As Drew was joking last segment, the F them picks thing is a real thing for this organization.
They've been doing that for a while now.
And that's that defense. I know they lose Verse, who's a great player, but Fisk is still there, McDuffie, Myles Garrett. Those are the three big cogs on that defense. And then your offense, as we mentioned, is already Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. That team is loaded,
Williams,
absolutely stacked.
Yeah, the idea that they're the first team ever with a reigning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year on the same roster probably says enough.
Why did they draft Ty Simpson, guys? Why did you draft Ty Simpson? You could have gone and loaded. Why did you even waste your first round pick?
I'll give my
Oh my goodness!
I think that it is Les Snead's plan for the future because here's genuinely what I think is happening. And our buddy Joe was just texting about it with me too. Here's what I honestly think is happening. I think this is McVay's last ride too. And I think what Snead was thinking with Simpson is when McVay goes off into the, like when he walks away with Stafford and he just John Maddens this thing and retires at 50 or whatever, and he's just done with football, then he wants some kind of thing in place. You do realize that they've only taken like 3 first-round picks in the entire Les Snead era. One of them was Jared Verse, the guy they just traded.
Yeah.
Literally just traded away. One was Ty Simpson, who they just took. I think this is just him having some kind of plan for the post, I think, Stafford and McVay era.
They got 1 or 2 years left.
I think it's going to be both right off together. I don't think McVay actually wants Simpson. I don't think that was acting. I think he's like, he wanted the pick. He wanted to just go out, right, like winning a title or two with Stafford and leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a real chance there's only a maximum of 2 years left with Stafford. Someone said, yeah, they signed Stafford to an extension. Yeah, but we talked about this at the time. It's really a 1-year extension. If you look at the money in 2027, they'll have to rework it again if he wants to come back in 2027 just from a financial end. So, yeah, he may play another year after this, but they didn't sign to a 4-year extension where there's all kinds of money.
But they could make 2 years work. He would have to work some number.
Do it again. They got to do it again,
though. They got the rights for him, I guess.
Correct. That was more about retaining his rights. But yeah, there's been rumors for a long time about Sean McVay. How long is he going to coach, and would he go into broadcasting and all that kind of stuff? Who knows? He's got 1 ring right now with Matthew Stafford. They're going to try to make it a second, and they got a better chance to do that than anybody else in football right now. Just because you're the Super Bowl favorite, it doesn't guarantee anything. But I think we can all acknowledge on paper, it is awfully impressive.
Yes.
Awfully impressive what the Rams have going into 2026.
I will say, if my agent. If I were Jared Verse, Drew, I'd be sick. If I got a notification that I had just been traded from the Super Bowl favorite Los Angeles Rams in L.A. to the Cleveland Browns and Todd Monken, I'd be sick. I'd want to quit football. I'd be sick.
Yeah,
trades happen, but I'd be
for him.
sick,
You're going from
Drew.
LA. Forget the team. You're going from LA to Cleveland too.
From LA to Cleveland, from a team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl to a team that has 0% chance to win a Super Bowl, led by a sexual assaulter. Terrible. The worst kind of transition. I can't imagine like a worse sidestep from being traded.
Yeah, it's tough.
At least when Trey McDuffie got traded off the Chiefs, he went to LA and the Rams,
Yeah,
he actually got to go to a real team.
Yeah, Trey McDuffie's got to be fired up even more about that. Someone said, don't forget about Devontae Adams. Yeah, he's there. I don't put him in the same category of the other names because
Not anymore.
Devontae Adams is a 800-yard receiver these days. And that's just the reality. Last year, he had 789. The year before, he had, I guess, combined, if you want to include 2 teams, he was a 1,000-yard receiver. I think he's an 800-yard receiver.
He has
these
that over
days.
67. That's the thing. He had 67 catches in 2024 and only 60 last year.
Yeah.
He just isn't getting thrown the ball as much anymore.
But he's still. I mean,
He hasn't played
there are
a
a lot
full-
worse number twos to have on your team. Though.
Oh no, 100%. No,
He's a very good receiver, but I don't put the reason why when we were rattling off Myles Garrett, McDuffie, and Stafford and
3 years
Puka,
ago,
I don't put Adams in that same grouping of like the clear 4 biggest stars on the team anymore. He'll be 34 this year, and he hasn't played a full season since 2023.
God, he's older than Odell Beckham.
He'll turn 34 in December.
I'm so confused by players' ages. Look, I'll say it. Someone says, does it have an argument for best roster of all time? If they win a Super Bowl, maybe.
I don't know about that. I don't know if
that's a bit much. Stafford's great, but I'd have to.
How many Hall of Famers, right? Myles Garrett, Hall of Famer. Stafford is going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
Devontae
Adams, French?
No,
probably.
Go look at his 1,000-yard season.
Oh, he's got. I'm just thinking. I don't know. I mean, without looking at his numbers offhand, I didn't want to just like. He didn't feel like
one of the best in his position.
He didn't feel
1,
like an
2,
instant
3,
yes.
4, 5, 6, 7,000-yard seasons. He's played 12 years. He's got one ring, right? Or does he have any?
Yes, he won with Aaron, I think.
Did he? I don't think he did. I don't think he has a ring.
When did Aaron win his? Devontae got there in 2014.
Before that.
No, it was before that.
So he does not have a ring.
So no rings.
He does not have a ring.
But like.
Matter
or was he there with the Rams in 2023 when they won? He might have been there in 2020. Well, that was 2022, right?
No, he was with the Jets.
So
if Puka played like this for another 10 years, maybe,
No, he was with the Jets in 2024, Drew. But I still don't know. You said 2020. You said 2023.
Well, either way, it is the best roster in the NFL this year. Like, inarguably, it is. They have one of the fewest weaknesses of all time. They have stars. They have an all-pro, like first-team all-pro last year in corner at Trent McDuffie. First team All-Pro and the MVP at Defensive Player of the Year in Myles Garrett, MVP in quarterback. I mean, they've got first team All-Pros essentially at like 6 positions. It's crazy. So yes, they're the favorite. But also, screw it. It's on the NFC side. Chiefs can worry about it if they get to the Super Bowl. They get to the Super Bowl, can it be a problem? Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
it can be a problem.
Every team's great at that point.
But I'll worry about that problem when I get there. They've had issues with elite level pass rushers.
And injuries happen. I mean, the Rams will have injuries at some point in the season. The question is, does it happen to one of their big time star players? But huge deal. It's just I'm just shocked because you don't see players like this move very often. You definitely don't see player for player trades.
Before we get to the random question of the day, I do want to I just want to ask the hypothetical because they were talking about it a little bit over on Twitch. Well, Legend and some of the other guys were talking about it. If Patrick Mahomes was 39 years old, this is how you'd want them to be doing it, right?
Absolutely.
Just to be clear, if Patrick Mahomes was 39 or 40 years old and they could acquire the previous year's Defensive Player of the Year in an All-Pro corner and just said, to hell with first-round picks, we'd all sign up, right?
Of course.
That's why the Rams' choice is correct, in my opinion, and why the Browns' choice is correct. Both of these. Now, I will say there's going to be people say all you could get was one player and a first-round pick for Myles Garrett, and supposedly there's another pick.
It is less than what the Packers got or than what the Cowboys got for Micah
Myles
Parsons.
Garrett is plus 30 over 30.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons isn't.
Yeah,
people value age in the NFL, like it or not, Drew. I'm not arguing who's a better player. That is not really up for
when
debate.
we're dealing with maybe
Micah
the greatest
Parsons
defensive lineman of all time. I think it. He had 23 sacks last year. And he was 30 by the end of the season.
But, Trey Henderson had 22 years ago, and now he stinks. It's
but Trey Henderson was never on the same same universe as Myles Garrett.
But I'm pointing out that age does matter, even for all-time great players. Aaron Donald was retired by 33, wasn't he? So Myles Garrett is 30 years old. He'll be 31 in season. That's why, Drew. If you're saying why did they get less, they got less because Micah Parsons was 26 at the time he was being traded, and Myles Garrett is 30 at the time he's being traded.
26 in the middle of the season. It was the middle of the season trade.
Yeah.
Or no, it was right before the season. Sorry, right before the season.
But 4 years in age is an entire another contract. So it does matter.
And the Rams, in fairness for the Rams, they're only yes, they want more, but if Myles Garrett is still Myles Garrett for 2 years of the deal, then they probably win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so it works out.
I mean, they can win back-to-back Super Bowls if Stafford plays both years. I mean, their roster, they can win back-to-back. It's not crazy. And, what picks or players they'll have remaining for Ty Simpson at the end of this, who's to say? That pick still makes no sense to me.
Do you think the Rams win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know how that roster.
To me, they definitely get to one. Do they win one? It's just
I think they at least get
to.
They're
it's a 50-50
getting to
shot
one.
they win one the next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting to a Super Bowl. It's hard to say will they win without knowing the AFC side, and do the Chiefs return to form? Is there a new team that emerges? Does Josh Allen get to there's a lot of
Seahawks repeat last year.
But I would be pretty stunned if the Rams, whether it's this year or next year, aren't back in the Super Bowl. And it almost feels too perfect for this year. They're all in. Stafford, is it his last year or not? The Super Bowl's at SoFi Stadium. It almost feels too perfect for the Rams to go and win the Super Bowl this year.
Myles Garrett ended up getting saved from his own decision-making, And
he got the big contract.
Because he bitched about how bad Cleveland was, and then he signed a contract. You're like, hey, man, no one made you stay in Cleveland. I didn't feel bad for him at all. We talked about it on this show. I didn't feel bad for Myles Garrett at all. I'm like, you made your own bed. You chose to sign a massive contract and stay in Cleveland, even though you know that franchise is going nowhere. He just got saved by Les Snead. Les Snead saved him from a Hall of Fame career for a team that was never going to amount to anything. And now he gets to try to go win a Super Bowl in LA. So I am happy. I do like seeing good players actually play meaningful games, believe it or not. So for that purpose, it is kind of the 23 sacks Myles Garrett got last year, Drew, I probably saw 2 of them. It's not like I was watching a bunch of Browns games last year.
It is crazy.
You might have seen 4, the ones against Bengals and nobody else. We essentially just didn't watch Myles Garrett play, despite the fact he was Defensive Player of the Year.
It is crazy to think, though, in the last 2 years, though, we've had Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett traded. These are guys that typically teams don't move. Teams don't move.
Before, now it's defensive
teams don't move on from all-pro.
Maybe the league's changing.
Pass rushers.
Even still,
we've
you
seen
get
it twice.
Sauce got traded. Trent McDuffie got traded.
Maybe the league's changing. We've seen A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill. We've seen massive wide receivers get traded. We've now seen massive defensive ends get traded. The only thing we're falling short on now is some major quarterback to get shipped. If that starts happening, then the league's completely
There's been Lamar
changed.
Jackson rumblings for the last 2 years now.
Yeah. And you never see that. You never see quarterbacks like that. Now, Matt Stafford, slightly different. The Lions didn't win anything for a long time.
On a much more minor scale of NFL news, Adam Schefter just tweeted out the Giants are signing former Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster to a 1-year deal. So the Giants have signed 2 older veteran receivers today, Odell Beckham Jr. and Juju Smith-Schuster.
One former Chief who helped him win a Super Bowl, and one Chief who I think would have helped him win a Super Bowl against the Rams.
Yeah.
Had Odell Beckham sign with them instead of the Rams.
Yeah, because who do the Giants have? They got Neighbors, who that knee recovery doesn't look like it's going so well.
They weren't talking about it like it's recovering great.
Malik Neighbors, Odell Beckham Jr., Slayton, Juju, Darnell Mooney. I believe those are their receivers.
Decent little crew.
If Neighbors is good, they're fine in the wide receiver room.
So we'll keep an eye out on that as well.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. We talked about it earlier. If you'd like to live interact with the show, you can like and subscribe over on YouTube or Twitch, where I stay in the chats, and other people do as well, and you can interact with the show. That's the first person. Someone said Rams putting the team on a credit card is the way that they described it.
A little Klarna pay and pay off in the future.
Afterpay. I'd like to make 7 easy payments of my Super Bowl championship, if that's fine with you. They might be real bad after this is done.
Yeah.
But you know how it works. You win the Super Bowl, nobody's going to complain or care. So, but the random question, obviously, for everyone in the text line 913-586-7965. I'm going to talk about something that happened in KC that scared me a little bit, because it's one of my favorite spots in the city. But then I'll ask you a question as a follow-up. And we'll say, not this place, because we're at least talking about it now. Last night, did you see there was a fire at Green Lady Lounge?
Yeah, bummer. Real bummer. Luckily, it sounds like they're going to be able to reopen here in a couple weeks or a month, and it didn't destroy the whole place. But yeah, that always sucks. That's an iconic place in Kansas City. And I saw on their Facebook, they announced that. Yeah, they're closed for at least a few weeks. They had an HVAC fire.
So I want to, which is crazy, and I'm glad that it didn't, take the whole place down. It is legitimately one of the best places to get a cocktail in Kansas City. They're not paying me to say
Great
that.
vibe.
Live jazz music, sitting in dim lit, it just feels like
I've gone there post dinner date before.
I feel like I'm in a speakeasy during Prohibition. Just feels kind of fun to be in there. So the random question I have today is, what is your favorite place to just get a cocktail? Not dinner and a drink.
Yeah.
Specifically, I'm going to get a drink. What are your favorite places? Because my 2, Gold, it depends on the type of drink. Cocktail, like the way we're talking about Green Lady Lounge, and I love a dive bar. I don't fit in. Everybody knows each other. Every bartender looks like they've worked there. All the beers are $4. I like that kind of vibe, too. It borderline doesn't feel clean enough for an establishment. I like both, I guess, the higher-end cocktail places. Maybe not the higher end. But like places like Green Lady Lounge got kind of a vibe. So I want to know everyone's favorite cocktail place in the city.
Yeah, so Green Lady Lounge is great. Two places come to mind. One I've been to in the past. One I just went to a week or so ago, just because I like a rooftop bar. But so Verdigris, it's out south. Anybody lives out in Leawood area. Verdigris, really, really cool cocktail bar. It's a little more higher end though, but it's just a cool vibe, and the presentation on the cocktails are awesome. So that'd probably be my first answer. And then after that, a place I went to for the first time just 2 weeks ago. I love
already on the list, huh?
I like the rooftop bar set up at the Lowe's and
I haven't been there yet.
Horse Feather Lounge.
Okay.
Horse Feather Social, I'm sorry.
I haven't been there yet, so I don't want to say. I like the Hey Hey Club for Jay Rieger a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Another like low lit, good vibes place. Swordfish Tom's is a place I've been a couple of times. It's very small, and it's intentionally set up like a speakeasy. Like you gotta go down a dark alleyway and see if the light's green
Yeah, it's
to
fun,
even
though.
to even
It's
know
fun.
if there's a table, right? But I do kind of like that. But you know, like I like hole in the wall places just the same, I guess. So it just kind of depends. You know what? One place I haven't been that there's always a line out front of. Has anybody been to King G? It's down there right by that same area.
I've heard their sandwiches are really good too.
The line is nuts.
I've heard the
there.
sandwiches are actually really good there.
Just never
A
made
few
the
people mentioning Mercury Room. Yeah,
Haven't been yet.
Haven't been. Heard great things about that.
Do you like dive bars?
Not as much as like if we're talking for cocktails or whatever. No, I don't mind having like the nicer place that has just like really cool presentation on the cocktails or a good view.
Okay, so you like the
Yeah.
Well, I mean sometimes like, but it's like sometimes like so. High Dive is one of my favorite dives. And it may make sense because I'm saying the same thing, but it's off of 39th. I haven't been there in maybe a year, but they've got like a mystery beer machine.
Where do you think, Drew?
And for $2,
do you have a name?
They'll just press a button full of a random selection of cheap drinks. You might get a pink lemonade natty light, or you might get a Corona. You don't know what the hell you're going to get. Just press the button and you get it. I like that kind of vibe.
What kind of vibe? Even if you don't have a place, I know obviously you didn't grow up here, but like if is a place that you like, or just the vibe that you're looking for.
I mean, I don't go out like that, so I don't know if there is a particular spot that like a place that's chill that you can go and just hang at. I guess it doesn't have to be super busy. It doesn't have to be. I guess to me, it doesn't necessarily matter.
You don't care? You don't like the vibe? You don't like to get dressed? Like the thing about the Mercury Room,
Not dressed up. Absolutely not.
Okay, so
I would
Drew's
say
not.
I know what it's not. More than I know
fair.
what it is.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Like,
He's not going for the high end.
If you were telling
it's
me in order to
$19
be-
for an old fashioned. They're putting the smoke in the glass.
You're not telling me that I need to wear like slacks and a polo in order to like fit into the crowd or whatever. Like, no, you can miss me with that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And like Verdigris, I go like twice a year. I mean, it's not like I'm going. It's,
nobody goes to that place every weekend.
It's a once or twice a year special occasion, cool place to go to kind of thing.
Arcade Alley and Lee Summit getting mentioned over on YouTube, but there's a bunch of different ones over on the text line. Somebody had mentioned the same one as that Crossroads Hotel, Rooftop, all those areas. It just depends a lot.
Is it which hotel? Is it not Crossroads? Which hotel? It's definitely not Crossroads. Has the cool bar in the basement? Nighthawk. Is that right? Nighthawk. I think that's the name of it. Hold on, that's gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, Nighthawk. Hotel Kansas City. It's in the basement. Live music bar. That's kind of a cool place too. Nighthawk. I figured that's a place you've been to. I feel like you would like that.
Feels like
it's
sounds
downstairs
like
underneath the Hotel Kansas City.
Down off of Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could be interested.
Have been there in a couple years.
Well, now I want to try it.
Someone says John Brown's Underground Cool Speakeasy in Lawrence. Oh, nice. I have not been there.
You were just in Lawrence. You could have gone.
I was just there. I drove right back after the game, though. But yeah, Saturday
You
night.
didn't stick around Lawrence? Hit up one of the old spots?
Nope. I did not. I did not stay in Lawrence for the evening. I had to drive back. I can't really hang out too much. I got to drive back home.
No,
Not staying there. If I make a weekend out of it and stay in Lawrence, it's a whole different conversation.
You got anybody who still lives in Lawrence you can crash with?
I don't. I do not. No.
No.
College was a long time ago, man. College was a
Someone
long
might have
time
stuck
ago
around.
for me.
I didn't know.
It's been a while
Or
since I
Lawrence
was in
native.
college. I don't really know anybody that lives there anymore.
No,
it's
everybody moved away.
been too long. We're getting old.
All right, fair enough.
That's the random question of the day.
And I hope that they open up quickly. I do really like Green Lady.
Yeah. All the best to them. Unfortunately, the fire over at Green Lady yesterday. Don't forget, you can join 96.5 The Fan on Friday, June 12th. C-Dot and Rob will be broadcasting live from the Peanut in the Northland starting at 2 o'clock. They'll be giving away coolers, other prizes for those in attendance, and you can hang out and watch USA play as they kick off at 8 o'clock. Our watch parties this summer are presented by Truly, the official seltzer of U.S. Soccer. That is one of multiple watch parties we'll have to
We're
watch
gonna
the
tell you
U.S.
one at a time, you know?
That's just the first one up. And as we're going to get back into the World Cup stuff later on in the show. So we'll talk more about Argentina showing up yesterday and stuff. But join us for some soccer watch parties.
Somebody said, when can we start expecting some U.S. soccer talk? I'm like, into this week, beginning of next week when they're getting ready to play a match.
When they're playing?
Yeah. They've their first match is the 12th?
Yep, that's the watch party. Yep.
Is that right? So that's their first match, too. So
it's the second day of the tournament. Day one is Mexico. I think I said South Korea, but it's Mexico, South Africa. My apologies. That's the first match.
Ross has officially said, I think they beat Senegal in a friendly yesterday, which is good for them, at least to be able to get in the win.
To at least have some kind of momentum going into it.
Compared to the way the friendlies were going before then.
They played so bad. I will say.
And Poch is not, he also isn't staying beyond the World Cup. He's also leaving to go to AC Milan after and go coach Christian Pulisic and others.
Men's U.S. soccer is a disaster. And I don't know if they just need to put more resources into it or just got bad leadership or what it is, but it is a disaster. The fact that they just got this guy to manage the team, and he's immediately taking.
It sounds like it's not much of a surprise that he got back into managing. It's just the entire concept of it.
Don't hire somebody who's immediately going to leave your ass. It's crazy.
It's the U.S. They go after the big names. Obviously,
I gotta say,
after what has failed them, I still think that they should have kept Jurgen Klinsmann when they did, but he bashed MLS on a regular basis, which he might have been right in a way, but you also can't bash.
They got no
juice
going into this tournament. The U.S. None. Negative Riz, whatever you want to say.
Negative Riz.
It's insane.
I don't know about that. It's more than what it was.
Come on, it's bad.
It's more than but it's more than what it was like 12 years ago.
It's not Royals level vibes, but it's.
They just better not get embarrassed on their own home soil.
I think they'll make it out of the group, which is
have to
not
get out of group stage.
Correct.
If
they don't make it out of the group stage, then it's
after that. I feel like
failure.
we're playing with house money. Get out of the group stage, and after that, it's house money. But if you can't get out of the group, especially with how favorable it appears their group is, Yeah. By the way, they opened up against Paraguay, and then they got Australia on the 19th, and then they got Turkey on the 25th. Those are their group stage matches, and they are,
they should make it out of the group.
Expected to get out of the group. Yeah. All right. Up next, guys, let's get to the 1 o'clock hour. The NBA Finals are set. Knicks, Spurs, a lot within that series, and what does it actually mean for the NBA? And we'll also talk about June 1, which is today, and that means could we see a trade happen in a couple hours in the NFL on top of the Myles Garrett trade next?
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Hi, folks. Bob from Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, my sister Kathy wants to buy a Bronco at an employee price.
What perfect timing, because right now Blue Springs Ford is giving employee pricing to everyone.
So what's the real difference in pricing?
2025 Bronco Sport starting at $29,000.
Wow, that's less than $30,000.
Up to $10,000 off MSRP on 2026 F-150s, and you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now, because this ends soon.
You know that weird smell your AC makes when you turn it on? Ooh, you really shouldn't. Luckily, you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com. You know how avoiding eye contact with people when your brakes screech makes it less awkward? It doesn't. But you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
The 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back Wednesday, June 10th, with all auction items benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
That is right, by the way. The Cody and Gold Garage Sale, man. It's a little over a week away.
A week from Wednesday.
It's crazy. It's
all
close.
All proceeds benefit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. We hope to have the website available for you guys to start taking a look at some of the items and experiences tomorrow. We'll have you linking through our station website. You guys can go in there and already make your bidding account. That way you're good to go and preview. Right now, I think there's already 80 items up on the site. We hope to have around 120 by the time we get to the launch of the garage sale, which, again, 7 a.m. next Wednesday. It's a one-day only thing, 7 a.m. to 7 p.
So some of the new items we added today that maybe we haven't mentioned on the air was the hat that Sean Barber offered Drew. He said, if Cincinnati beats the Chiefs, you can have it, because it was tiger striped. It's from a different brand, not Tiger's brand, but it was tiger striped and had a goat on it. He said he was going to let you have it for your boy Joe Burrow. But your team lost, and so he said it's got to go to the
John
garage
Anthony
sale.
wanted to commit a pass interference penalty. That's why I don't have it.
Yep. And he definitely committed that penalty. Inarguable about the penalty. Plus, if you've been missing any bobbleheads during any time, those are up there. A stitched Danny Duffy jersey, plus new experiences getting added. Like you can get a custom song from me that is unblockable, I want to point out.
Yeah, but I made sure.
The station's not allowed to block it ever.
I
get to do it whenever I want. It could be about your life, your love life, to your wife, to your business or restaurant.
All right.
Don't care.
One. There's a pass in there to block a song from Cody as well. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You just said maybe you want me to make a song for your wife.
Yeah,
Cody
correct.
singing a song for your wife is weird.
It'd be funny.
It's weird. Paying another man
I agree.
write and sing a song to your wife is weird.
Yeah. Like Drew never sent a mixtape to his wife dude singing about some love song. Down his wife. Oh, he's never played they never listened to Boys to Men together. Not a single time.
It's you, and they are paying you to sing it. Like, that's a half step away from being a you-know-what, is what that's at. That's exactly what that's about to be.
Cody, somebody paying...
call me Katie?
No, sorry. I don't know what that was.
He called you Katie. He called you Katie.
Forgot my name?
I was reading a tweet, or I was looking at Twitter, and it crossed. I was looking at Twitter, and it crossed over. Anyways. If a person pays you to sing a song to that person's spouse, that's just weird behavior.
Yes, it is.
It just is. And there's not.
If Drew thinks it's weird,
Cody, Cody,
Drew said he wouldn't hug another woman. So I'm not taking his advice on this.
Cody, but
that's a completely different.
And not that you would make it weird, or it might just be a regular old song. But the concept of somebody else paying for that service is weird.
Yeah, it'll be.
What would make you think Cody would make it weird?
Look at the items? Tomorrow, you can look up the items on 965thefan.com.
Happy Daddy Day.
Yeah, you don't need him doing that.
Sure you do.
No.
You don't know what you need it for. I don't care if it's for your fantasy football league. I don't care what the song's for.
Cody, I'll advise if you want to donate to the garage so that bad, they don't have to bid on that item. It's okay. They can just donate.
They can just donate.
We have to raise money. I know what you were trying to play, Gold. I know. You don't need that.
Plus, you can join us for a fan club. All kinds of different stuff available. All of it the site will be live tomorrow. So you have an opportunity to see and get ready to bid on those items. Again, we do a one-day bidding.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday, June 10th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Your opportunity to bid on all of it.
Yeah.
Cody Gold Garage Sale, the fifth.
Yep.
Annual. We had to take a year off.
Did that person like the song that you made for them the last time?
They did. I've made 2 custom songs, I think, in the history of the show. One was for private use. I don't know. They didn't like
for private use. Again, what are people out here doing?
That was a request.
Private use.
And then one was for the a bar in Waldo, which I did too.
I need more details on the private use.
Did this person request or say that it would be used?
I just think they said it didn't need to be played on the air. I think it was for like some other reason. It wasn't like you don't have to make it sexual.
I'm just saying
you
because
said
we're
private use.
We've already touched that territory of what you were talking about. If we're talking about, hey, this is for private use only, so I don't know.
This one, Drew, I will say the business owner was very happy with it.
Let me talk to you. They got them battered onion rings, drinks, perfect pours.
This is very well done.
Next thing you know, we're at social here in Waldo.
So I mean,
this is very well done.
You could get essentially a commercial for your business.
I do think you might have just broken the protocol of the song thing. I know it's not. I know it's an older song, but I think we're done.
We said no new songs.
Yeah,
there's 10 seconds. It's fine.
That one was very, very well done, Cody. That one was.
Either way, just keep an eye out for those items. We'll make the site go live tomorrow. Pay attention. We want to raise as much money as we can for the Cody Gold Garage Sale.
All right, let's briefly talk about the NBA, then we'll get right back into the NFL. Big day suddenly, June 1. Myles Garrett traded to the Rams, if you're just joining us for the first time. Rams now have Myles Garrett on their team heading into 2026. We also know A.J. Brown could get traded in the next couple of hours, so we're keeping an eye on that. But let's pivot to the NBA for a second because the finals are set. We get the Spurs, the Knicks. That's Wednesday night down in San Antonio. We can talk about the Thunder failing to get back to a final in a second, but Victor Wembanyama, if there was still any doubt in who's the best player in the world, to me, he once again, in the Game 7, proved that he's the best player in the world. And I think for the NBA, you have to love the setup that we have. Even if you're not a diehard NBA fan, I understand we're in Kansas City. We don't talk a ton in NBA. No. We don't have a team here, unfortunately. But for the casual fan, watching a 7'5" player play at his level, and now we get it at the world's biggest stage for basketball, and we have a Knicks team that hasn't been to a final since 1999. There's going to be games in the Garden. A Knicks team that has been as dominant as anybody during the postseason we've seen in a while. They're averaging, 19.1 point margin victory so far through the postseason, which is insane to think about. And then the Spurs, of course, go on the road in a Game 7 and controlled that game, I would say, throughout. I understand it got tight at one point, but the Spurs were the better team the entire night in Game 7.
They were.
They might have led. They might have bookended the whole game. Actually, no. The Thunder had taken the lead, I believe, in the third or fourth quarter.
They did. The Thunder did a good job fighting because they're a good roster, and SGA is a good player. And he played like a good player for a huge chunk of that. They ran out of steam there towards the end. I'll be honest. I thought Wemby was going to get. He looked halfway through the series, looked gassed. Now I thought, you know what? They put up a fight. Next year they'll have a better opportunity. But the Thunder is still going to get this series. Is how I felt midway through. But Wemby continued to put Chet Holmgren in an absolute vice. And the problem is what you realized is that, and look, this is a specific problem for the Thunder only when facing the Spurs. Their biggest problem was their roster is pretty good, but it looks a lot better when they don't have somebody who can just completely shut down Chet. And so when Chet Holmgren got in a game where the better version of him is on the court the entire time, man didn't take a shot in the second half. I mean, it was crazy.
The Spurs are the only team. I think the Spurs beat them 7 times over the course of the season.
So, like, it's a bad matchup for them. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board in the how do we specifically get past the Spurs? Because the thing is, I still think the Thunder would have probably beaten the Knicks. I think the Thunder.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the Thunder would have just gone on to win the championship had they gotten Game 7. Their problem is how do we get past Wemby, which might very well be the NBA's problem for the next decade plus. Because he's 22 years old and he's 7.5 feet tall, and now he's already in a final. And so, like, if they go on to beat the Knicks, which they're favored to do, well, then the whole torch has been passed in the league.
Well, look at
he's the face.
Pieces around him too.
Yeah.
I mean, Stephon Castle is not exactly some scrub by any means. He's sensational.
Great.
And
Dylan Harper really showed his potential the last couple of games. De'Aaron Fox finally healthy. The ankle's good. He was great in Game 7. And then, Luke Cornett had the single biggest play of the game. On whatever day that was. Saturday.
Yep. Game 7 was Saturday night.
Of all people, Luke Cornett, the other part of that French vanilla nickname. Devin Vassell was also electric. Carter Bryant was good. Like, I think that's the other part about this team is that it's the way that they've built it so quickly here. I know that Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson have been there for a while, but quickly getting Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, you make the trade for, you draft Wemby, collectively, it just feels like the old Spurs again. And ironically enough, the last time the Knicks were in the finals, they played the Spurs. And the parallels between Tim Duncan this year and Wemby this year are almost identical outside of Wemby's got to win the title. And if he does win the title, then their path is essentially the exact same in their year 22 season.
And then for the Thunder, of course, they failed to repeat. And SGA was awesome on Saturday night. It wasn't the best series for him, but he was awesome on Saturday. And it's amazing how a game on that stage can change how people view your roster. This happens in the NFL too.
Yeah.
You can be talked up all year. You come up short in an NFC or AFC title game, and suddenly everybody's like, "Well, this guy might be a problem for you long term." And that's what's happening with Chet Holmgren. His contract extension kicks in next year, and suddenly now everybody's saying, "Wait a second, is this going to backfire on the Thunder?" Now, I think we should put it in perspective with all due respect to Chet Holmgren. When it comes to Wemby, the best player in the world, number one. Number two, Drew has highlighted the history. This goes back for a while. I don't think Chet Holmgren just stinks all of a sudden. But against Wemby, it's a problem. Again, if and there's a good chance they will have to get through the Spurs next year as well. And so that's their issue, is what else can they do with their roster? And I think you should appreciate what SGA has done far more when you start to look at the ancillary pieces around him and you say, wait a second. And they had some injuries in the series as well. So maybe it was just that more than anything else. But it does feel like we're about to get Spurs and Thunder for a long time in the West.
Yeah, honestly, if you're any other team in the West, might as well start positioning yourself to be a lot better, not just competitive. Because again, the Thunder can do whatever they want to fix their roster. That's what's crazy. Yeah, they paid Chet, and so they got financial restrictions in some way. They got $7 trillion first-round picks to move and manipulate in whatever way they if they don't want to do Chet anymore, and they want to ship him somewhere else, and they want to change the construction of their roster, they can do whatever the hell they want. They can change the entire look, Drew.
There's already been talk about Giannis, which I don't think he fits. I don't know how he fit. I don't know.
Giannis and the Magic is where people are linking because what's his name is going to become the new head coach, Sweeney.
Sean Sweeney. Yeah,
the Spurs assistant.
Don't do that, Giannis.
I don't think so, but his name is coming up.
The Magic, I think a lot of people were expecting the Magic to be way better this year. They weren't, and I think that's part with the coaching change. And if you were to get rid of Paolo or Franz, then you bring in Giannis, then that all of a sudden can get interesting. I don't know. I think the series is going to be great though, just because it's going to be the 8th different champion in the last 8 years. That's part of it, but I think also the games back in the Garden is going to be special. Wemby's the face of the league, and him having the emotion that he does, I think, makes like him caring so much about the game, and as it is very evident by the way that he reacts after winning these games. Even the comeback in the middle of the year, they were down by 30, I think, and came back and won, and he was super emotional. Like, he cares about the game, and I think it's really good for the sport to have somebody like that who's the face of it.
This is like one of those like uniquely, because like football doesn't have this issue, but baseball runs into this a little bit in the NBA. The NBA and Major League Baseball, though, I think if you had them behind closed doors, they would want their best players to be from the United States. I'm not saying fair or not, but like I think sometimes you run into an issue where like the best player in the league before Wemby, in fairness, I don't even think it was SGA. I think it was Jokic. And so, like,
I mean, and even SGA is Canadian. He isn't.
Yeah,
he's
Canadian.
All the MVP.
Yeah.
Go look at the history. It's been a while since an American was an
What's
MVP.
the best American player in the, like
the best American is Cade Cunningham, probably.
And so, like,
or Anthony Edwards.
And I don't care, but like sometimes in order, like
James
people
Harden
pay
was the
attention
last.
to it. That's tough.
James Harden was the last American-born MVP.
Yes, yeah, in 2017.
It's an
been almost
international
10
sport.
years.
Chet Holmgren will be one of the starting centers in all likelihood for the U.S. It just doesn't. The roster is not nearly as good. I don't know if it's a problem.
I mean,
for the league,
LeBron
though.
was the best player in the league for a very long time.
Sure.
Yeah, but and you can make the case. He's the best player, but wasn't winning MVPs. But still, I think that even the last couple of years, LeBron, you could say probably wasn't the best player in the league, even though he was still playing at a very high level.
One of my other favorite things that came out of just this series and the Thunder losing, not that I was rooting against them per se, but just as far as the stories that come out from that, we all know the history between Seattle and Oklahoma City because of the Supersonics and everything. You guys see the video where, I guess at the Mariners game, they were at home over the weekend, and so the Mariners, they showed the Thunder score, and understandably so, if you're from Seattle, you can't stand the Oklahoma City Thunder.
They're going to have their own team
very soon. They're going to get the Supersonics back. It's be cool. But their fans reacting and booing and cheering for when the Thunder
Everybody
lost
was cheering
to
for the Spurs except for the state of Oklahoma. I'm convinced.
And I'm wondering, what do you think the split's going to be like for this finals? Because the Knicks haven't been there since '99. The Spurs, I think we just laid out why the Spurs are intriguing, even though they've had success in the last 15, 20 years, unlike the Knicks. But I think everybody is going to actually be split on this thing. I think you can make a case you're rooting for Wemby because he's 22 and he's an alien and all that. But I also think there will be some people that normally aren't for East Coast teams that'll say, look, the Knicks haven't been there since '99. Jalen Brunson's a likable player. I'll be curious to see. Like, normally it would be an automatic me root against the Knicks or a New York team. But I don't hate the Knicks that much because they haven't done anything for a while.
Yeah, they haven't been in the finals since the '90s, since like before Drew was born almost. I mean, it's been a long time. And so I don't know how you can hate the Knicks at this point. If they were one of like, it's different because you're right, all New York based. Like, I'm not rooting for the Yankees or the Mets or, like there's so many, or LA teams. Like, it's easy to root against the coast teams as a Midwest city. It really is. But the Knicks, it's like I don't feel a need to root against like a loser franchise, which they aren't now, but they were for a long time, or stuck in ineptitude. And part of it is just like, I watched the Spurs already have a dynasty in my lifetime, and they're probably gonna have another one, so I'm gonna root for the Knicks. Not like impassioned. Like,
I just don't want James Dolan.
Fiber of my being, that's
I don't want James Dolan really having much
fair.
success. He's been a terrible owner, and now he's about to get rewarded, but whatever. That's not their fans'
I'm
fault.
from Indiana, so I'm rooting for the Spurs.
Yeah, if I have to pick a side, it'll be San Antonio, but it's not the same like as normally where it's clear cut, like can't stand the East Coast team.
I do think, too, part of this, and maybe it's just now before they get really good, but there's part of me that I love watching the Spurs team play just because, like, even Wemby afterwards, like, he was asked about the MVP trophy. He was like, this isn't for me, this is for the team, like he loves the group that he's with, and they're all like, the average age is like 22 or 23 on this team. Like, they're all super young, and it just feels like a great group to get behind. I think it's good. It's as bad as it sounds. I think the way that people were talking about Shea and the foul baiting stuff and all of it, I think it is going to be very refreshing if the Spurs win the whole thing because of the care that Wemby has for the game and the way that they collectively play the game. It's a bunch of young players, and with all the stuff that Popovich has gone through, like, it feels like a lot of people are getting behind this team because they're just so much fun to watch.
I think that was the Thunder. Everyone will hate the Spurs by this time next year if they win.
because
Because Wemby got off easy in the easy stories too. Wemby got off easy in the postseason. He elbowed a guy. There'll be all
in
that stuff
a year or
too,
two from now, absolutely, people will hate on Wemby. The reason why everybody, and I understand it's the flopping for SGA, but still, people will find a reason. Everybody it happened in the NFL
I don't know
with the
what
Chiefs.
it is for Wemby though. Like, what is it? Is it just because he's good?
It happened with the Chiefs and Mahomes. Everybody loved him at first, and they started winning too much, and they found ways to hate him. This happens.
I think that's
the
it.
same thing's going to happen for Wemby.
Good.
If Wemby wins this year, and then they're back in the finals next year, people will not be rooting for Wemby the same way they are today. We do this in sports, no matter whether the athlete quote unquote did anything wrong or not.
From the 913, Wemby flops just as bad. I'm going to need you to go back and watch the game, please. Please, just watch the series. Go back and watch the series.
Wemby flops just as bad as SGA. Look, I like SGA, and to me, he gets too much crap, but SGA flops more than Wemby. Come on.
He jumped side. He created a worse shot for himself to draw a foul. That was like James Harden level stuff.
I'll say Wemby is so tall, though, that in watching his games quite a bit this year, they're going to run into a tush-push issue where they don't call goaltending on him nearly as much as they should.
I think it's because the ball's still going up.
It's not, though. It's going down a lot of the time, I guess is my point. But he's so damn tall. You're just like, I don't know.
We'll talk more about it on Wednesday when we get to the day of the game, game one in San Antonio. But I do think if we go likability-wise in the series, there are a lot of, at this point of their careers, likable figures.
Yes.
Wemby, Jalen Brunson, I don't know why you went. That guy went from Dallas and has been awesome and one of the more underrated players probably in the league for
Brunson
a bit.
gets a little floppy too, but I think you can root
it's
for
a
Jalen
guard
Brunson.
thing.
Plus Mike Brown also being in the finals again after the whole thing with Golden State didn't work out or in Sacramento didn't work out. Like, him and De'Aaron Fox also being in this is cool for a cool side story.
We'll get to what's trending here in 10 minutes. Also, we'll talk some World Cup as we are now in June. We've made it to the month of the World Cup. We've got one of the countries that we are hosting has arrived. That, of course, is Argentina. We'll talk about them and what to expect over the next couple of weeks. But it is June 1st from the football end, the American football end, that would be, of course, which is the NFL post-June 1 trade and cut candidates. We thought we were just going to be talking about A.J. Brown today, who could get traded maybe to the Patriots as soon as this afternoon.
Garrett.
Instead, the big headline, once again, if you're just joining us for the first time today, Myles Garrett has been traded to the L.A. Rams, or will be traded to the L.A. Rams, for Jared Verse and a 2027 first-round pick, plus some other compensation. And so now the Rams just go all in. We talked about that earlier. Do you think A.J. Brown gets traded today, or are we going to have to wait? Because he's getting traded, and everybody assumes it's the Patriots. There's some reporting from Jeremy Fowler and others that the thing that's holding it up now is the Patriots may not want to give up a first-round pick, but could they compromise and give up a 2028 first-round pick? And I think the Patriots, given the fact that they were in the Super Bowl and they have a quarterback not making any real money right now, this makes too much sense for them still not to find a way to get a deal done.
I mean, again, for the Browns and for the Patriots, it's like sometimes you got to realize what position you're in. Why would the Browns trade Myles Garrett? Where are they going? They had a player with 23 sacks in their roster last year and went nowhere. They're going nowhere again. So trade Myles Garrett away to the Rams makes sense. Rams?
Full details, by the way, on the trade. Real quick. Sorry to
sure,
interrupt you. The Rams get Myles Garrett. Browns get Jared Verse, 2027 first round, 2028 second, 2029 third.
Okay, so good
That's
haul.
the full haul. Yeah.
I mean, it is a defensive player of the year from last year. But, like, if you're the Rams, you're in to win. So you got to do it. If you're the Patriots, I think going into a season in which you just went to the Super Bowl, have a quarterback on a rookie deal, making nothing right now, if you do nothing, if you don't trade for A.J. Brown later and you do nothing at the wide receiver position, you just go and sign some dude off the street and hope. It's a mistake. It shows a lack of willingness to take an actual attempt at making this a Super Bowl window, in which case you're going to have to try to win during a Super Bowl window in which your quarterback is making a bunch of money, which is just a harder thing to do. Not that it's impossible. You certainly can't do it. But Drake May's going to have to take that next step, be another level better. And it's just going to make everything harder in your world. It makes sense for them to trade him. Now, I understand why they don't want to give up a first-round pick. I think A.J. Brown's probably in the back half. I think he's he'll never be as good as he's ever been. He'll be worse than he's been in other stages of his career, pretty much moving forward now. He can still be a 1,000-yard guy, but he's going to be 30, or he's 30 now. He'll be 31 in the middle of the season or whatever it is. You got him for multiple years to be 33 by the time he's done with the deal. Odell Beckham Jr. is 33. And I'm pointing that out because of how easy it is to be dominant in your 20s And how little, or Devontae Adams is 33, 34.
A.J. Brown turns 29 in June, later this month.
Okay, so 29.
So he's 29. Look, I hear what you're saying. Like, do I think he'll have another 1,500-yard season again? No. Okay, he had 2 of those.
Will he have 1,000 next year? Sure.
I think he's going to have 1,200 or something like that. If he gets into an offense with Drake May, I understand you looked up the passing attempts.
They did not pass very much last year.
But Jalen Hurts and that offensive coordinator last year that's no longer the offensive coordinator, that was a mess. And when you don't get along with your quarterback, it causes problems. He's going to go to New England, fresh start. His old head coach, Mike Vrabel, is the head coach, as we all know, with the Patriots. So I think it's going to bode very well for A.J. Brown, at least for 2 years, where I believe we'll see he may not be 1,500-yard A.J. Brown, but I think he'll be 1,200-yard A.J. Brown right away in New England.
I think it'll be
if this trade happens
again. I think it'll, and I could be wrong, but I think it'll just be about the same. I think it'll be just about the same. Nothing outside of that. Do you think that the Browns got enough return for Myles Garrett?
I do, considering the age part of it. I understand the talent, 20-plus years, 20-plus sacks, I'm sorry. But, yeah, I mean, at some point, the age thing does matter. And I think that's why the Micah Parsons compensation was different. Myles Garrett's also older, than A.J. Brown. So Myles Garrett's 30 already. A.J.
Jared
Brown's
Verse,
turning
a nice
29.
player. First-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick, each in the following 3 years. And look, here's the thing. Browns aren't close to rebuilding this thing. Other than maybe they can take and use these 2 first-round picks to get a viable quarterback next year and stop running around with Sanders and Gabriel and Watson and hoping that one of those 3 guys is even passable. So maybe they get a quarterback, but then there's still 2-3 more years from putting the roster back together.
Do they have any extra picks in 2027?
I mean, other than the one they just picked up?
Because they had 2... Yes, other than that one. Because they had 2 this year, if I remember right.
Did they Patriots did have 2. Yep.
I'm talking about the Browns.
The Browns.
The Browns had 2, I think, this past year, but I don't know if they have any in 20. If they have an extra one other than the one that they just got in 27. The only reason I'm thinking of that
not
is
first-round picks. They'd still just have 2 first-round picks.
Sorry, the Rams had 2 first-round picks. My bad. They traded 1 for Trey McDuffie, and then obviously they drafted Ty Simpson. The Browns had.
The only reason I was thinking of it is could they? Did they have enough draft capital to essentially be bad enough to take a top quarterback and then trade up for a Cam Coleman, a Jeremiah Smith, somebody like that?
So they have 2 first-round picks. They have now that they're trading for Myles Garrett. They own their picks 1 through 5 and pick 7 in the 7th round. So they're just missing a 6th. They have 2 additional 4ths, a 5th, and a 7th.
If the Browns are bad enough to get a good quarterback, I would legitimately think about you draft the quarterback with your however bad you are, and then you just at this point for them, you might as well. You trade the Rams first, you trade 28 first, and something else to get Jeremiah Smith, and then you have Jeremiah Smith, the running back room, a good defense, and your quarterback. They legitimately could find a way to flip it into them being
the Browns.
A decently good team.
The faith in the Browns is very slim in figuring it out. I like they actually had a decent draft this year, though. I do like their draft.
Their drafts have been much better the last couple of years.
But the biggest problem is quarterback. And this trading away Myles Garrett allows them to go get their franchise quarterback next year and what we think is a deep QB class. Because right now they're headed down a road where Deshaun Watson's starting week 1, and by week 9, Shedeur Sanders will be starting.
I already told you my plan. They each get a third of the season.
I know.
And then you determine if any of them are any good. They each get. It's locked in. Doesn't matter how good or bad they are. They just each get their 5 games. Whoever wins gets the final 2. You know what? Bring in Sorsby 2, and they can each do 4.
Tom Lunkin was already asked about that today, I think, and he said he thinks it's what did he say? He said he doesn't like the idea of that. He thinks it's too too shady.
By this time next year, Lunkin won't be employed, so I don't know why he's worried about it.
He'll get more than 1 year, but that'll be about it.
Sure.
All right, he'll get more than 1 year. Yeah, I think so. Up next, we'll get to what's trending, and then let's talk about it. Team that arrived in Kansas City yesterday. Of course, that's Argentina in the World Cup. What that means for the next couple weeks.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament over on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. That's because you get to trade in a market with other users. So, like earlier today, someone was like, You got to believe in the U.S. It's like, but I'm worried about the vibes. Maybe you aren't. Over on Kalshi, they're trading at 1.5% in order to win the entire thing. That means a $50 investment could see a net return of $3,334 if you were trading them in the market over at Kalshi right now. So you get to make the choice. Figure out where it is. At least on that. That means 100 would get you 66. At least on that end, if they win soccer's biggest prize. So on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. As the probability changes, you've already seen some of the probability for Argentina and France change a little bit today. You can buy in and out of your position, not necessarily have to see it the whole way through. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus, restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a diamond sourcing expert, I'll tell you just how differently we source our diamonds so your engagement ring can be the most beautiful. We work directly with our diamond partners who reserve the best stones just for us. We handpick and inspect each diamond, then negotiate the best price. At Shane Company, we believe this is the only way to properly buy a diamond, because a friend goes the extra mile to make sure you get your dream diamond at your dream price. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
If you're looking for a new job and to work for a great local company, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is hiring. Top pay in the industry, health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and advancement opportunities. Check them out at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack. Jack had a home he needed to sell fast. And Jack thought he had it all figured out. So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers. Jack chose the highest offer. But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out, leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do. Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer. Jack got suckered. Make sure you aren't hung out to dry. Call our dad at Rex Buys KC. Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals. No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises. Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process. Now, don't be like Jack. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. 0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
You know that weird smell your AC makes when you turn it on? Ooh, you really shouldn't. Luckily, you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Water backing up? Drains slowing down? It's only going to get worse. Head off bigger problems with a $79 mainline drain cleaning from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Plus, a free video camera inspection to pinpoint exactly where that clog is. We'll clear the problem the right way and get your home back to normal. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery, staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
This report is brought to you by CM Mosen Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMosenSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mosen Son.
Well, boy, it's getting hot out there. Now, if your AC is making funny noises, just needs a once-over, or your home isn't as cool as it used to be, visit cmmosendsons.com. CM Mosen Sons. License 202919.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, a blockbuster trade in the NFL today. Myles Garrett, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, sent to the LA Rams. The Browns get Jared Verse back, a 2027 first-rounder, a 2028 second-rounder, and a 2029 third-round pick. As the Rams continue to push all the chips to the center of the table, they are all in for 2026 and perhaps beyond as well. They are currently Super Bowl favorites. They were before the trade. Their odds have just gotten better over at some of the betting markets as well. But a huge trade going down today on a day in which we thought the headline trade would end up being A.J. Brown if he gets moved. And that can still happen today, but it's not topping that trade for Myles Garrett for the Rams.
Think so. Unlikely. In some books, they went from plus 800 to plus 550. I mean, this took them off the board for a little bit. It skyrocketed their odds, at least in the early going. Next up on What's Trending, the Royals got swept by the Rangers, have now lost 6 in a row, 16 of their last 19, sit 15 games under 500 as they get ready to start a series tonight against Cincinnati. No Ellie De La Cruz in the series. He's headed to the injured list. Yesterday, Andy Rogers on the Michael Garcia said he should be able to avoid the injured list, so let's hope that's the case. He hurt his hamstring over the weekend. Look, their pets' heads are falling off. I mean, it's bad in Kansas City right now for the baseball team, so we'll see what happens next, but they just got swept again. Their third straight losing streak of 6 or more games this season. It's June 1st.
For it to happen by June 1st is insane. As you said, early start time tonight, 6:10, Vern's on Deck show at 5. Elsewhere, the NBA Finals are set. We'll have to wait till Wednesday night for it, but San Antonio, the Spurs, get it done in Game 7 on the road against the Thunder. That was back on Saturday night. So it's the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Game 1, Wednesday in San Antonio. The Spurs are favorites in the series.
Next up on What's Trending, the University of Kansas did advance to their first ever Super Regional after their back-to-back wins against Arkansas over the weekend. They were down 6 runs, came from behind, eventually won 13-10 in Lawrence. They'll play the winner of Georgia Tech and OU. The reason why this is important, it starts at 2 o'clock today.
Yeah.
If OU wins, KU will host a Super Regional in Lawrence.
Sooners.
If Georgia Tech wins, they'll fly down to Atlanta and face them there instead. So, Alex is very much an Oklahoma fan today. Or if you're a Kansas grad at all, you're an Oklahoma fan. But they won the regional. Also, JCCC won their first ever national championship as well over the weekend. So, a lot of good baseball being played in a 40-minute radius of Kansas City. not by the Royals.
That is unfortunately very true. But yeah, congrats to Kansas on advancing. Congrats to Johnson County as well. Elsewhere in what's trending, Serena Williams announcing after nearly 4 years since her last match, she's officially making a comeback to professional tennis. She's now 44 years old. She announced she's accepted a wild card invitation to play doubles in next week's HSBC Championships, which is at the Queen's Club in London. There's some speculation that this could mean that she's trying to work her way back and maybe even compete in Wimbledon. She has earned over $94 million in prize money throughout her career and is believed to be the highest paid female athlete of all time.
I hope she wins. She's probably better than all but 10 players maybe in the sport still. So,
assuming she stayed in shape, I'm sure she could go right out there and compete. Yeah,
I imagine. Lastly, on What's Trending, don't forget the Cody Gold Garage Sale coming up Wednesday, June 10th, just 10 days away. It's presented by RE/MAX. When trust matters, choose RE/MAX. Voted most trusted real estate agents for buyers or by buyers and sellers. All the items, we're going to have the site go live tomorrow, assuming there's no issues the rest of the day. That way you can start mapping out what experiences, what items. So if you want to do the tour for 10 with Bob Kendrick at the Negro, a private tour for 10 with Bob Kendrick at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, you can map it out. Get 9 of your buddies, put together what possible amount you want to bid, and get it together. If you want to buy Drew's Hooters outfit, it wasn't really his Hooters outfit. It was somebody else's in the building.
It became his, though.
It became his when he wore it after Cincinnati did not make the postseason. That's available. Some of the bobbleheads from this year and previous years are all available. Hell, you need a couple of pillows for your couch for the Christmas season. Alex and I are putting up the pillows we got straight off the couches at the premiere for Touchdown Kansas City, a holiday love story that took place right here. It was the same one that Andy Reid and other people attended at. Anybody could have sat on that couch, and we swiped pillows from it. And in fairness, I did not.
Everybody was taking pillows.
I did not take the pillows directly from my couch. I took them from different couches. So it really could have been anybody sitting on it. I stole them from couches in and around the area. You too, right?
Absolutely.
Yours weren't directly from the couch you were sitting on, I don't think.
Yeah, I thought about should I have kept a pillow since I was in it. I was like,
the
nah, what am I going to do with
it? That? I gave that to my in-laws. I got a Christmas one.
I have it because it looks still like a football. It's not like it's not. Yeah, it's not hanging up anywhere.
But you don't have a tree.
But it's not. It doesn't look like an ornament when it's just on display.
Oh, so it sits on a shelf.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't care. What do I care? Would you care if I kept, like, if I don't know, they gave me a menorah?
I mean, the Royals have done a Minch on a bench bobblehead before.
That's true. You should get one of those.
I have one.
I told you last year my daughter.
I don't think I have an extra one. I think I gave those away already.
Last year my daughter was asking, "She's like, why don't we ever do Hanukkah? Can we celebrate it this year?" I'm like, I don't really think it works that way.
Oh, this I told you when I was a kid.
I mean, I don't care.
When I was a kid, we asked on the opposite end of that. We asked my parents at the time, like, how come we don't celebrate Christmas? It was a whole thing. My mom felt so bad. I kid you not. This was
one year you did Christmas.
No, we didn't do Christmas. One year, my mom on Christmas still gave us a present. She felt so guilty.
That's nice.
Again, we were like 8 years old at the time. We didn't understand. 7 years old or whatever. But anyway, all right. So yesterday, kind of cool to see this all play out. We all know that the World Cup is just a few weeks away. And the headline match in the United States, or excuse me, in Kansas City, is going to be Argentina against Algeria, just because in Kansas City, everybody wants to see Messi and what is going to be his last World Cup. And they landed in Kansas City yesterday, the Argentina national team. And a couple of things were really cool about it. One, just how big of a deal it was and seeing the motorcade essentially as fans were waiting by their hotel, and to see that the hotel that they've, of course, blocked off, it's their base camp as well and everything. But the plane they landed, so it's like this giant Airbus, and it's got the, there's I don't know the term they call it, but basically it's painted for their country, and the tail on the plane has a giant number 10 on it, which of course is for Messi. And I understand that there have been other number 10s in Argentina history, but the fact that Messi has basically this plane that is in honor of him as well, and it's got like a quote from him on the plane. He didn't even fly on the team plane. He took his own private jet in, which is hilarious.
He was coming from Miami, not Argentina.
I understand.
It is funny.
I know. They flew 5,000 miles. Why would he go to Argentina just to fly the plane?
It's very rare, and I think it takes like a national standpoint. I don't think this would ever happen with like LeBron or Patrick Mahomes or anybody who even is like, you got to be a national hero. Messi is one of the 5 probably greatest soccer players who have ever lived, and he is a national hero. So when they're dotting up the plane to put the national team on for the sport that they care about, not shocking to me. that they would dress the whole thing up for Messi, but it's got to be insane.
Oh, the livery. That was the word I was looking
have
for the plane. That's what they call the paint scheme. Anyway, imagine if the Chiefs had their own plane. They don't. They charter. The Patriots are one of the few teams that has their own plane. Imagine if the Chiefs plane when they landed just had a giant number 15 on the tail. You know how sick that would be to have a plane with like your own scheme on it.
But they don't even own.
They don't.
Plane,
No,
right?
I think the Patriots are one of a few teams that own a plane. The Chiefs have United Airlines charter or something.
I guess I'm surprised that with the increase of super rich owners, I'm surprised more of them aren't going to just start owning the plane themselves. I guess I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
if
it's not worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, cost wise, the maintenance, and I have no clue on what that would cost to run versus
you don't know
chartering.
What owning your own giant 737 runs.
Yeah.
That might even not be big enough for a team plane. Those things are.
I don't know.
huge.
I mean, the plane that Argentina had was like one of Airbus, gigantic plane that came in. They landed up at KCI. Messi's private jet landed at Wheeler downtown.
I thought the same thing that you did, though. It's like I saw the calendar turn to June, and I'm like, okay, it is World Cup month in this city. We are only 2 weeks away from a match in Kansas City. Well, a little over 2 weeks, but like close enough. It's like 2 weeks and a few days. The U.S. men's soccer team plays in a couple of weeks. All of those things taking place. So, like, yeah, it's starting to feel that way more because, like, they changed the outside of Arrowhead. They put, Kansas City Stadium. They put all the flags up. The airport's starting to look
Have you seen the parking lot there? I
way.
went to the Royals game. The parking lot is just full of tents and stuff right now.
It looks weird, but it's also a sign that, it's coming. We're finally going to get the World Cup stuff here, which we've been waiting for since they announced that we were a World Cup site years ago.
3-4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, man, I don't remember how many. It feels like forever now. It was still Nick Schwartz. I remember I was off day the day that they finally.
So 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was gone. I was like in Colorado or something. I can't remember, but I was gone. And you guys had to do the show. I remember when I was gone of like the official announcement. Yeah. It felt like it was leaning that way, but I missed the actual show in which they said Kansas City's a World Cup city. I mean, years ago. And so and then it was just like a year ago that we got to know how many matches we were going to get and found out we're going to get a quarterfinal. And that might be Ronaldo and Messi. So it starts now. We're getting actual World Cup matches in this city starting this month.
Yeah.
So it feels real finally.
And I get it there, and we're going to find out when the dust settles. I get it. There's a lot of concern and stories that have been out there. We've talked about on the show. A disappointment around the hotel occupancy and what the real impact is going to be. And we'll find that out when this is all said and done. From a fan and just city pride perspective and for what we do for a living, I am pretty fired up to see how this all turns out from the sports end of it too and how our city handles it. Drew and I are going to the Tunisia-Netherlands game. I can't wait for that. I know you're going to one of the matches as well at some point, Cody. And I think, the Fan Fest stuff, we were looking at the concert schedule. I'm excited to see what does that look like. So on any day, I think it's 18 dates that there's matches going on. You'll be able to go. You can go online right now and reserve your ticket. They have GA tickets that are free. You could also pay for premium or whatever. They get you different perks. But you can go and watch. They said anywhere in the Fan Fest, they'll have a big screen. Like wherever, no matter where you're standing, they have it set up where you're going to be able to watch. And they're going to have Tech Nine, Chainsmokers, Sheryl Crow. I'm missing a lot of them, but those are just some of the headline acts that are going to be out there, and that's cool. I was mapping out some dates with some friends just to go to pick which days we want to go. We're doing our own watch parties as well, as we mentioned over at the Peanut. Different locations starting on June 12th. Sporting's doing a big watch party series out there.
There's going to be stuff to do.
On July 18th. I know Third Eye Blind. I'm going with some friends to that. So I'm excited just to see all the events that are in addition to, hey, maybe you can't go to a match because I get it. The tickets are very expensive, very, very expensive. But you want to be part of it and feel it. Well, that's where our watch party or the Fan Fest or what Sporting's doing. I think, everybody's got something going on.
Well, and honestly, some of it is like the culmination of seeing if it lives up to the hype. This is, by all accounts, the single biggest sporting event this city has ever hosted. Hosted some big ones, including early Final Fours and whatever. The city's hosted some big events. This is the single biggest event they have ever hosted by a pretty good margin. It's not
even if it's below the expectation of what they set, it's still going to be. Yeah. Maybe it's not 10 Super Bowls. Maybe it's three of them.
600,000.
Maybe it's 4 Super Bowls, not 10.
But it's spread out over time. So I do want to see what the city is like, what the events are like, what the feeling is like, and what and what it brings to Kansas City over the next couple of years. So I don't want to like underplay the fact that the World Cup is still coming here, and that is a massive deal. And the calendar turning over makes it feel that way, where it's like, okay, now it's real. We're like you and I are talking about like joking about renting out my house for Airbnb or all the stuff we might kid around about. A plane landing in Kansas City with Messi's number on it signifies that someone's here to really play the sport, you know?
And wait, we got, England's going to show up here soon. We know that the Dutch are going to bring an unbelievable amount of fans. I do think out of all the fan bases, we're going to see a ton of Netherlands fans and the orange all around Kansas City. And then Algeria, as I know in Lawrence at Rock Chalk Park. None of the other countries have arrived yet. But yeah, it's new for all of us, but I can't wait. I figured today was a good day, Cody. I decided to rock the first World Cup shirt that I have. So
Did you purchase?
I bought this like a month ago.
Okay.
Have
you worn it yet?
At Rally House. No, it's the first time I've worn it.
So you bought it, but you haven't worn it yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured this is the right time to start wearing it.
FIFA?
It's got the Kansas City stuff on the back.
Yeah, I like that. There's like, the problem is like some of it I don't like.
Some of the designs are a little too much for me.
Yeah.
But there's some cool, there's also some cool apparel that's out there. Some, I'm with you. There's some I would have no interest in buying. There's some other ones that are pretty neat. If I was going to buy, which this one is, FIFA gear for the World Cup, I want the stuff that says Kansas City on it, right?
Well,
that's the whole point. I don't want the generic FIFA World Cup. No, I want the one that says Kansas City, which this one does. That's why I got it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's quite a bit different. So I don't know. I'm hoping we'll all get to go to matches, bring you back reports. Follow us over on Instagram if you want to like follow around. It's a big edict from the company to like, one, grow our Instagram following, but to follow along the World Cup from the eyes of Kansas City. And
yeah, if you don't follow us on Instagram already, please do.
Yeah,
search.
Go ahead. No, you said. Please.
Well, just search for the fan 965. Okay,
yeah, you'll find us,
and you'll find us there. I was going to say too, Drew lives out near where Argentina is going to not stay, but where they're doing their practice and training and everything. So keep an eye. Maybe Drew's going to spot. I'm telling you, Drew's going to be walking around the Legends one day here the next month, and he's going to spot Messi.
You think Messi going to be having a beer at Yard House? Like,
but I think he'd be.
I don't think he's leaving the facility.
I think he could walk around at some point. The Legends.
Just to get out?
Maybe he goes to Nebraska Furniture Mart. Just check it out. Never been. Order up some furniture, Cody.
I would be intrigued to see if any of them actually went
America.
Like if they went out, like any of the English players.
I don't know. I mean, they're traveling so much.
They're trying to win the World Cup. It's going to be very hard to imagine they're just going to like end up in a bar.
They're traveling to other cities too. I mean, Argentina is playing one match here, unless they get further. But like,
maybe if they
England's not playing a single match in Kansas City.
If it was going to happen though, it would be this week. Like if I was going to see them, if they were going to be out and about at the outlets or whatever, then it would be this week when they're showing up, where there's still no matches yet until next week, and there's more free time, if you will.
They also got their first KC experience with the weather. I mean, they landed.
I do like that they had to experience the Midwest immediately.
They landed 5,000-mile flight from Argentina. They get into their hotel right there in Riverfront.
Tornado warning,
and then tornado warning at 1:30 or whatever it was in the morning for those of you up north.
The United States has more tornadoes than any country in the world. So
welcome.
We gotta like, hey, this is the Midwest. The storms are loud and sometimes for hours, and they sometimes come with tornadoes. So you all saw The Wizard of Oz. Presumably it's like that, but all the time. It was kind of like a funny like introduction.
Someone says Messi's been all over the world. I don't think he'll explore Kansas City. I still don't think he's just going to live in the hotel.
He's
every
also been
second
to Kansas City already before.
Yes.
Like this isn't his
he's
first
played
time.
a match here.
Yeah, This isn't his first.
He played
time.
at Arrowhead. He played obviously at Sporting or at Children's Mercy Park at the time as well. But yeah, we said he's not just going to be in his hotel 24/7 though. Like maybe he's going out with his team and they're going to have the ridiculous amount of security though. That's the thing. It's like
it's not cool, right? He's not going to just sit in his hotel room studying defenses.
Yeah,
studying the turns.
The security
when everybody
though,
else goes out.
Wherever the team goes and he goes.
I will tell you this though. If I'm at Dave and Buster's and
I don't think he's going to Dave and Buster's.
And Harry Kane is there with his family.
Favorite moment ever.
And if it's Harry Kane with his family, I'm going to go up and talk to Harry Kane, or I'm going to try to get up there and see Harry Kane.
Drew's playing Pop-A-Shot. He looks over his shoulder and Harry Kane's over there. Now Harry Kane's not going to be that. They're not training over at Sporting Park, right? Where are they training at? Do you know which facility? Argentina's at Sporting.
Argentina's there. So
who's at Swope? England. So they're not going to be. So they're not going to be out by the Legends.
Yeah, they're not going to be out by me.
And Casey Current's the Dutch.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And Algeria's Rock Chalk Park out in Lawrence. So
somebody over on Twitch, they were saying, ask him if he's going to go to 1587. They built an entire private room so you can secretly enter.
Oh, they might go there.
That's the kind of place they very well will end up at because they can enter a secret entrance and sit in a secret dining area that other people don't know they're in there.
That'd be the
That's
place
the kind of restaurant they want to go to.
If you worked there, I'd be very happy. You might be able to.
You'd be on watch.
That'd be cool.
They also probably just find some small restaurants and rent the whole place.
Well, they did. I think someone did a story where England is staying in that area. There were a couple restaurants that are closed for a month. I'm sure they're getting taken care of, but they're closed for a month, and I'm sure they're catering meals and doing all kinds of stuff for them.
Great, closed for a month. Be like, sorry, we're the personal restaurant of England for this month, so see you then. Just name a price,
About to wrap things up, someone was just asking more about KU baseball, and someone said, KU made the 93 College World Series. Was the tournament format different? How are they in their super regional? That's exactly right. There were no super regionals back in 1993. So KU baseball has been to Omaha for a College World Series before back in 93, but there were no super regionals. So the format is just different. And again, they are waiting the winner of Oklahoma, Georgia Tech today. And hopefully,
which changes a lot for
Oklahoma wins and Kansas would host a super regional. Otherwise, they'll go take on Georgia Tech, who is the 2 seed in the tournament, who is one of the co-favorites now with UCLA being bounced. So they'll have their work cut out for them, but pretty cool to see.
I got to look up, I guess. Is that game at 2? Did we confirm that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think
it starts here in, 5 minutes?
Yeah, 2 o'clock, straight up. Who's the... Oh, Georgia Tech is minus 425 to win it?
Georgia Tech lost yesterday, but
second best team in the country.
Prohibitive favorites, though, against Oklahoma.
Co-favorites to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think they're ranked second.
Yeah,
especially after UCLA just got bounced. I mean, they are the favorites.
Just a baseball
KU's
game,
like 30-1 to win the whole thing.
Anything could happen. It's baseball, so like crazier things have happened. I'm just saying they're like.
It's been fun to watch
It's probably the first time you've cared about college baseball in a while.
I've been to College World Series a couple times.
Just fun to like entertainment.
But in terms of actually a rooting interest, there's something fun. Anybody that's never been I get it. College baseball, you're maybe not locked into it. Admittedly, I'm not locked into